Hello, everybody. Sunday Adelaja here. A few times I've been told that if the Nigerians are not careful, that the Francophones, especially Cameroon and other countries, are going to take charge and are going to hijack and take Pastor Sunday to their country. That if Nigerians will not value DSA, that Cameroon will welcome DSA and maybe some other countries as well. Well, this week is like the same thing that we are seeing already, because yes, today I released a video that was done in French, and today I'm going to have questions being posed to me from the Francophone world. And today, with me in the studio, I have Pastor and Mr. Businessman Entrepreneur Erika Lindou. Is going to represent the whole Francophone world and going to throw all these interesting questions that I'm going to try to find ways to answer today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, GSA. Thank you.
How have you been? How are you so far? Is home missing you, or are you missing home?
I don't know in which side I would say, but even if home is missing me, it's for a good cause, because being around GSA for a time is always like a refreshing time. It's always like a retreat time. It's always, in fact, it is a must. If you permit me, I was telling one of my collaborators, I was telling him that once you discover GSA, it's like you need to put a yearly program, that you need to put it in such a way that every year you should go there, spend some time around him, and go back. So I can't really say home is missing me, but I will say it's for a good cause.
Okay, what kind of questions do you think that the Francophone world would like to ask DSA?
I think I've prepared some few questions that we'll go through.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know it's heavy when you say I will be representing the whole Francophone area. It's a heavy duty.
I think you have more Francophone countries in Africa than English-speaking countries.
Oh, I never done the statistic, but
yes,
also
I think so.
Okay, I never done the statistic, but you know also that we don't want to stay only in Africa. There are also Francophone countries that are not in Africa. You have France, you have Martinique, you have Belgium, you have even Canada, where some other people are speaking French. I think a GSA message is not just for Africa, even if today we are going to talk about some African country in Africa context, but I believe it will be for all the Francophone area and people living in Francophone countries.
I think I agree. I agree.
Okay, so GSA, I want first of all to thank you. Before we start, I need to really say that I need to say how it's going to happen. The first thing is that I'll be answering your question. I'll give first in English, then I will repeat the question in French,
good,
at least.
Good,
yeah,
good,
because
good.
If we are talking of Francophone,
yes,
we really need to address them. Yeah, they should. Even if you will be answering in English, I will not be translating your answer, but at least for the question, I will be giving it in English. By the time before you answer, I will give it summarized. I will summarize it in French. And what will happen today, GSA, is that first of all, we will have to talk about GSA. Yeah, we are talking to Francophone. The posters has been released, so surely many people many Francophone are connecting. Even if they don't connect today, tomorrow they will connect, or after tomorrow, or month or years to come, they will connect. And most of them, maybe they were not following GSA before, so they will need to know who is GSA. Then after knowing who is GSA, we'll go back a little bit in church. Yeah, we'll enter a little bit in church, talking about church in Africa, talking about Francophonie. Then before we finish, we will have to know the mind of GSA towards certain biblical verse that are not, I don't want to say controversial in the Francophone area, but those are there are some few biblical verse that in Francophone milieu, people are interpreting in the kind, and that's bring the kind of behavior also into people's lives. So when we finish there now, we can have one or two thoughts coming from DSA. So before we start, let me just say a word to our francophone viewers. Salut à tous. Donc aujourd'hui, nous allons confronter le docteur Sondé Adelaja avec quelques questions. Quelques questions, et tel que j'étais en train de le dire, nous allons commencer par l'homme. Qui est l'homme DSC? Qui est le personnage caché derrière Sondé Adelaja? Après cela, nous allons rentrer un tout petit peu. Nous n'allons pas parler forcément des questions doctrinales parce que nous ne sommes pas là pour ça. Il sera plutôt question de voir quelques textes bibliques qui sont à controverse. À voir également la pensée du docteur Sondé Adelaja en ce qui concerne la francophonie. Et après, nous allons avoir un peu sa pensée par rapport à quelques versets. Et puis, je crois que ça sera la fin. So, before we start GSA, let me first of all, before I should ask the first question, I will ask you what is really making you that even during your solitude, you can still find time to come and address people. Why such sacrifice? You are taking your solitude. You have taught a lot of people that during solitude, even if it is for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, or a week, they should be alone, just like the word says, solitude. But yet, you are still taking time during your solitude to come out because you want to address the people. What is happening?
Yes. Normally, the normal practice for solitude is just to be alone with God and, no other person. And that's what I do. So the whole day, I'm alone every day for a week. But in the evenings, I come out and do a recording like this for maybe 2 hours or 3 hours. And but normally, I'm the only one here. Yeah. So I just come and sit down and talk. People don't even know I'm in solitude. So I do what I need to do and go back. But I only started doing like this after I started the live broadcast in 2016. Because I discovered that I was building a momentum of daily programs.
Yeah.
So whenever you are building a momentum, you cannot break momentum.
Yeah.
System must be closed.
Yeah.
So, and because of that, they don't have to know that I'm doing solitude.
Yeah. Okay.
For example, when it is in the church, people know, the church members, I can tell them that I will not be around. I have other pastors who will do. But when I'm doing just on live, worldwide live broadcast, they don't need to know what I'm dealing with.
Okay.
For them, the only concern they have to have is that it's coming every day.
Okay.
So they have to have that confidence. They have to have that assurance.
Yeah.
So that they don't begin to think, why is it not coming here? And if I'm going to be giving excuses that I'm in solitude, I'll be breaking what Jesus said. And what Jesus said is that if you go into the room, lock your door, don't tell anybody about it.
Okay.
So I also don't want people to know when I'm in solitude.
You're in solitude. Okay.
Because it's a private thing.
Yeah.
It's going on underground.
Okay.
But what they should bother themselves is that they are having me whenever they need to see me.
Yeah.
But I'm still in the house. I live on the 4th floor. Yeah. But I'm not there. I'm not seeing my family. I'm not seeing the children. I'm not having, the normal things that I do every day. Just with God.
Wow. So now I think we are going to launch. You know, all of us, like me, that questioning is always what reveals the depth of wise people. And today we have the privilege to have with us a wise man. Let me go now with the number 1 question, DSA. Who is DSA? Donc, nous voulons savoir, en fait, avec la première question, qui est DSA? Qui est le docteur Sondé Adelaja?
Yes, just like you have said, DSA stands for Dr. Sondé Adelaja. I have 2 doctorates, one from the United Nations University, one from University in California. So I have 2 doctorates, but I never used it because I'm not big on titles. I don't like to use titles and things. But when I started having my daily broadcast on Facebook, I discovered that if I keep on using Pastor Sunday the way I used to use it before, I'm going to be confined. Because everybody you have to be careful that the way you label yourself. Because the way you call yourself or label yourself is the way other people will label you.
Okay.
And by labeling yourself, you confine yourself into that identity. So if you just tell people and say, I'm pastor the whole world they will just cut you off and put you in that prison.
Yeah.
Pastor, that's who you are. So you cannot be any other thing anymore. So you are just pastor. So if they will label you, they will put you in a boundary, and they will just see you as pastor, and that is the only thing they want you to be. But I know that I'm beyond pastor. I know that I have too many things to do that are not just connected to church or religion even. So that's why I decided to change that name into the way people address me, rather than calling me son pastor, just to call doctor. So that makes me doctor of science, not medical doctor. Doctor of science is philosophy, doctor of philosophy and science in different areas. So now, who is DSA? I was born in Nigeria 52 years ago. 52 years ago in Nigeria, in a village called Idomila. It's a village of about 40 houses when I was growing up, 40 huts. And I've not been back to that village too many times. Maybe I visited only 3 or so times since I've been here for 30-something years. Mm. But I plan to go back home. I plan to go back to Nigeria. I plan to go back to my village. I plan to rebuild not just my father's house or my grandmother's house. I plan to rebuild the whole village and give every person in that village a modern, sophisticated villa like in Europe here. So I want to use that as an example of what a Christian should do and what it means to be a Christian, to be a son of the kingdom. If you are a son of the kingdom, you will bring light, not just to your own family, but to the whole people around you. But I'm also not just thinking about bringing light and enlightenment to my village. I'm thinking of bringing enlightenment to my state, and I'm planning of bringing enlightenment as well to my country and then to my continent and to my world. So I lived in Nigeria till I was 19 years old. Went through a lot of hardship, but the hardship have become lessons for my life. I left Nigeria at 19. I came to the former Soviet Union to study. And here in the former Soviet Union, I read journalism, did my master's in journalism. I was offered to do my PhD for 1 year because you know, when you write, when I finished my master's, I was supposed to write my dissertation. And the dissertation was supposed to be 50 pages. Wow. And the professors were surprised that I wrote a dissertation for 500 pages. And 500 pages is not even, nobody writes 500 pages because the master's degree people write dissertation for 50 pages. Then the PhD student write dissertation for 150 pages. And then doctorate students write for 500? 300. Okay. They write 300. So, but I wrote for 500. Nobody writes 500. When the school authorities saw that I wrote, and you know what I wrote about? Yeah. The European Union. This was 20-something years ago, 27 years ago. And the European Union was just taking shape. So I did a thorough study about Europe and the countries of Europe and their story, their history of Europe. I mastered Europe, all the countries of Europe from beginning to the end. They sent my book my thesis to, because I studied in Belarus. It was so good that they sent it from my university to the Academy of Science. You know, they have something they call Academy of Science in Moscow for the Soviet Union. It was it was rated as the second best thesis on Europe in the former Soviet Union at that time. The second
out of all the theses
by then. Yes, and they have a lot of universities and things. So they put it there for research and references. So, but you know, I left Belarus in 93, came to Ukraine, and 94 we started the Embassy of God Church here in Ukraine. And so it's been 25 years now since we've started the church here. A few years ago, I put Ukrainians to pastor our churches all over. We've started over 2,000 churches for the past 25 years. And then I've written close to, in Russian and in English, if you put them together, going to over 400, let's say over 400 books.
Books.
Yes. But I plan to write 1,000 books. So, but my passion right now is to go back to Africa and bring civilization and development to Africa. I am very serious about this. If God will give me strength, long life, and release me from here, then Africa will surely experience transformation in our lifetime.
Wow, this is really wonderful. Now, DSA, in one of your video, you used to speak about the need of someone getting a mentor.
Yes.
Do GSA has a mentor? If yes, what is the relationship you have with your mentor? If no, why? Meanwhile, you are really advising, you are mentoring even people, and you are really asking and advising people to have mentor.
Yes, you know, the way to have mentors is not just by, like for example, the people on my mentorship program, I don't even know them. So mentorship is not the same thing as spiritual father.
Oh yeah.
The way it's practiced in Africa.
Yeah.
And mentorship, in my own understanding, is not the same thing as, you know, coming to bow down to somebody, bringing money to them, and you know, you might not even know the person, they might not even know you. So mentorship is just somebody that you know that has what you need.
Yeah.
Or has done what you aspire to do. Or someone who inspires you. You might not, maybe you have never even met him. For example, you could be in Africa and have Bill Gates as your mentor. Or Warren Buffett. Even he doesn't even know you exist. Maybe you've never even written him. But you are following after his footsteps.
Yeah.
And you are learning from him, from his years of experience and things like that. So when you talk about mentorship like this, I used to have a lot of people that I learned from in the earlier years especially. But to be frank with you right now, I can't see too many people to learn from. But I try to develop myself and, you know, study and I pay a lot of attention to self-education. But also I have a unique story because when I was, when I came back, when I left Africa and I came to Ukraine, to Russia, and I was eager to learn from somebody. Mm-hmm. And one of the people that I really wanted to learn from, because I read his book and I was so inspired, was Kenneth Hagin, Senior, before he died.
He died.
So I wrote him, and he offered me to come and study at his Bible school, Rema Bible School. Okay. But when I was getting ready to go, even though I was a student, I wanted to leave my studies here and go there. Then God said, no, you are not supposed to go to be mentored or to be trained by anybody. Wow. That I heard that very clearly. And God spoke to me and said, there are different ways that I train my generals. That was the first time I heard the term general. Some people, I mentor them with men of God or people, other people who have gone before them individually. Some other people, I mentor them in the church. Other people, I send them to Bible schools. Other people, I, take them when I want to do something unique. Yeah. And I don't want the thing that I want to do to be polluted and for those people to be distracted. I take my generals to the wilderness where I walk on them and through the wilderness experience. So, and he said, where you are right now, this Soviet Union that you came to is your own Bible school. It is your wilderness. You are going to be trained like Moses in the wilderness. You are going to be trained in the wilderness like Elijah. You are going to be trained in the wilderness like John the Baptist, like Paul, because I want to do something unique through your life. I want to give you a doctrine. I want to give you life experience and teachings that are coming from me. Because if you go to submit yourself to any of those teachers, then they are going to contaminate. You are going to copy them. You are going to be learning the things that are, you will not be able to get what I want to.
I like this fact, Jesse, because we'll even come on it down. I like,
So because of that, I didn't look for mentors. I didn't look for somebody. I had a lot of people that I respect, but I didn't, I learned from them. I had relationships, many relationships, but I didn't have somebody that will say, I brought up Sunday Adelaja, or I invested in Sunday Adelaja, and God did that himself. But I learned from many people.
Donc, pour la gouverne de nos téléspectateurs francophones, j'ai dommage parce que j'ai pas pris la peine, je suis désolé, j'ai pas pris la peine de pouvoir donner la question en français comme on s'était convenu, mais je posais la question au docteur Sunday Adelaja à savoir est-ce qu'il a un mentor, puisque nous savons très bien que lui-même il encourage les uns et les autres à avoir des mentors, et je posais la question à savoir est-ce qu'il a un mentor, si oui, quelle est sa relation avec ce mentor? Et sinon, pourquoi n'en a-t-il pas alors qu'il prend la peine d'encourager les uns et les autres d'avoir un mentor? So now that we want to go to the third question, I really want to say, DSA, the other day, you brought us at the street of Kiev. And when you brought us there, you showed us the big street where you brought the church member to march for the Orange Revolution. You know, in Africa, and mostly, let me speak about Cameroon, where I'm coming from. People know Dr. Sunday Adelaja as a very big actor of Orange Revolution. Many people don't even know, maybe you are pastoral or something. They only know that he was very involved in the Orange Revolution. So the question I want to ask now is that, what was the purpose of the Orange Revolution? Now the second aspect is that, do you think the aim of that revolution, or that Orange Revolution, were met? Do you have some indicators that shows you that you people met your target? Donc il est question, beaucoup d'entre nous connaissons le docteur Sunday Adelaja comme l'un des grands instigateurs de la révolution orange ici en Ukraine, et je voudrais savoir quel était le but de la révolution orange, parce que beaucoup connaissent le docteur Sunday Adelaja, peut-être pas sous la casquette de pasteur, mais comme celui qui a joué un rôle majeur pour la révolution orange. Et je lui pose la question à savoir quel était le but de la révolution orange. Est-ce qu'il pense que ces buts ont été atteints? Y a-t-il des indicateurs qui nous prouvent que la révolution orange a véritablement porté ses fruits?
Countries that did not experience Orange Revolution, like Belarus, like Russia, they are not experiencing also the same freedom that Ukraine is experiencing.
Okay.
Number one reason for that Orange Revolution is that we wanted to break the chain of communism and socialism over the nation of Ukraine. Because if communism comes back, there will be no freedom for believers and of religion, of faith, of conscience. But now in Ukraine, I used to say it, that as long as I'm in Ukraine, the door for the gospel will not close. But in those countries where there was no Orange Revolution, the door of the gospel is closing, almost closed. Secondly, the mindset of the people in Ukraine are totally different. When we were walking right there in the center of the city, that time when I took you to see the city, to the bridge, you see the freedom, you see our liberty, you see the safety. That was 12 midnight. And we were walking in the street as if it was just day in the afternoon. And nobody was drinking, nobody was drunk, nobody was, trying to fight or attack you. Before, it was like that in Ukraine before. You cannot walk at night like that before. But now things have changed. Normally in the former Soviet Union, they used to be known for drunkenness, drinking a lot. But after the Orange Revolution, you can't see that too much here. Ukraine is no more renowned for alcoholism anymore. Things have changed spiritually. The people can now speak out and talk their mind. And also, Ukraine, after the Orange Revolution, totally cut their bond with Russia.
Okay.
And now they are, striving to be admitted into Europe Europe and NATO, and especially European Union. So that is also as a fruit of the Orange Revolution, and so many other advantages. But after that Orange Revolution, we were able to be more politically involved. We were having a group of
you mean the church?
Our church was more politically involved. We were having a group of senators in the National Assembly, of maybe close to 10 or 15. But in the city assembly, in the city parliament, we were having 34%. In one election, it was 30%. The second election, 34% of the parliament of the city of Kyiv were members of our church. And we also were able to place the mayor of the city, which is the capital city of Ukraine, a member of our church. And so, a huge influence and progress were attained. Apart from that, there were laws that were changed. Our church, members and members and senators from our church, they contributed about 430 something bills into the law to change the law of Ukraine. That's a lot. Some people might not, parties have not been able to contribute maybe 10 changes to the law, but we were able to contribute over 400 to the law, and that's also as a result of the change in the Orange Revolution. So a lot of incredible progress in the nation thanks to that. But it is because of it is more for the nation. And why this is important is because I believe that it is not possible, if you are a responsible person, you cannot be a responsible person and live in a society and then be free from the concerns and the troubles and the challenges of that society. If you are alive and you live in a society, you must be a part of that society. Responsibility demands of you that you will be a part and parcel of the life and of the changes and of the destiny and of the challenges of that society. So it is not possible to live in a society and be independent of that society. You've got to be a part of that society, taking responsibility for the changes and the challenges and everything that is happening in that society. That is what it means to be a human being, to be a man living in any given society. I wrote a book on this, and it's called Let the Heroes Arise. Let the Heroes Arise, and it is called also Where Are the Heroes? It's the same book. Where are the heroes? Let the heroes arise. When you begin to take responsibility for your nation, for the country where you find yourself in, you are transformed from an ordinary human to becoming a hero among the people even which you are a stranger.
I'm very happy, GSA, that you, among the point you gave as a benefit of this Orange Revolution, you talk about the freedom that now the Ukrainians are experiencing. We were in the church last Sunday during the church service, and I took some video. Maybe you are surprised. I would like that we should see. It is a no comment video. So I would like technical team to play that video, and that will usher me to the fourth question. Can we have the video, please? Because you have given the benefit of the Orange Revolution, what has happened, laws have been changed, Ukrainians now are more open and are expressing their freedom. And when I was in the church, I saw something that really hooked my attention, and I decided to take it by video. Donc, je voudrais qu'on joue une vidéo là. Le docteur Sonda Adelaja vient de donner la réponse et parmi les conséquences ou alors les indicateurs de la révolution orange, il a parlé d'une certaine liberté dont jouissent les Ukrainiens aujourd'hui, alors que ce n'était pas ainsi par le passé. Les barrières également qui ont été placées avec la Russie et l'Ukraine est maintenant de plus en plus en train de vouloir se développer. Dimanche dernier, effectivement, quelque chose a retenu mon attention à l'église. J'ai vu une scène exceptionnelle et j'ai demandé que cela soit archivé. Je voudrais donc qu'on puisse jouer cette vidéo et au travers de ça, je vais pouvoir poser la 4e question. Ça, c'est a no comment video. You see a professional footballer, Ukrainian, he's playing ball just as a sign of gratefulness to God because of the birthday celebration, the 52nd birthday celebration of Dr. Sunday Adelajabe. You can see the church service is going on. Nobody is even taking care of him. Nobody is even concerned. The church service is going on. Activities on the pulpit are still going. The activities, I mean, they were drama, they were giving explanation. The man is there, you can see, very free. No protocol to come and tell him that, no, the bishop is in front, please take care, please, what are you doing there? Why are you playing? No, the man he's still, and I will say that he did it for more than an hour. I was watching. In fact, by then, I was following the church service, but one of my eye was just on him because I wanted to see if at a certain point the ball will go down. But the ball didn't go down. I asked Babusha. Babusha told me that he is a professional footballer. That he's not even in this. Yeah. Okay, you were saying that?
Yeah, he has a world record.
Wow.
Guinness Book of Records.
Wonderful. And that he's not even from Kiev. That he traveled from another city just to come with his skills to really appreciate what God has done
through
Pastor Sunday in his life. You can see he was still playing, and the church service is going. Nobody is even taking care of him. Nobody. Yeah, so I took it just to understand, as you were talking, as one of the benefits of the Orange Revolution, Ukrainian now as becoming free and freer. And honestly, this image really captured my attention. But now, I want to ask my question, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Do you think church in Africa can be run like this? Meanwhile, we didn't have Orange Revolution in Africa country. Do you think we can have such image in African churches, that something will be happening like that, and the GO is there, Mami GO is there, the usher are there, and they don't even care, and the church service is going on? Do you think that the European culture is not playing on your favor? Donc la question, c'est de savoir, est-ce qu'avec cette attitude, vous voyez un footballeur professionnel est en train de jouer, il est venu, il a voyagé, c'est un professionnel ukrainien qui ne vit pas à Kiev, mais ce jour-là, il a fait le voyage pour venir célébrer la vie du docteur Sunday Adelaja, ce que Dieu a fait dans sa vie au travers du docteur Sunday Adelaja. Et ce que j'ai constaté pendant le service d'adoration, c'est qu'il a passé le temps à jongler le ballon pendant près d'1 heure en signe de gratitude. Et ça n'a retenu l'attention de personne. Le service continuait normalement. Et je pose la question au docteur Sunday Adelaja, est-ce qu'il pense que ce genre d'atmosphère de liberté peut se retrouver dans les églises africaines? Et est-ce que par hasard, ce n'est pas la culture occidentale qui joue en la faveur du Dr. Sunday Adelaja? Is it not? European culture is not helping Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and they are thinking that God is using Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Meanwhile, it's just a normal thing that is happening.
No, you can go through the whole of Europe and you will never see a picture like this. You're not just Nigeria, not just Ukraine. You can go to France, you can go to Germany, you can go to England, you can go to any country in Europe, and you will never see something like you saw here. It depends on the leader of the church. It is what the example that the leadership of the church gives that people follow. Even here in Ukraine here, you can go through all 12,000 churches in this country, and you will never see an image like that. So they still Ukraine, but you will never see, you would rather see churches more like the one you see in Africa too. So what is the difference? The difference is the liberty that is promoted, because Jesus said, or Paul said, unto freedom we have been called.
Yeah.
So if we have been called unto liberty, then we should not let anybody take away that liberty from us. That's number one. Number two, my own personality is such that gives people freedom. And in our church, I said it from the first day going, that everything is permitted, everything is allowed, apart from sin.
Okay.
Sin is the only thing that is not permitted. Every other thing is allowed.
So you mean GSA, as long as God will grant you grace to reach Nigeria, you are sure that this same atmosphere will still be around you? I don't even want to talk about church. That one will reach there. But the African will still feel, you believe that we can have such atmosphere in Africa?
It might not start from the beginning. We have to train people to embrace the freedom that they have in Christ Jesus. And that loving God is religion is all supposed to be about loving God, having personal relationship with God, finish. You have personal relationship with God, all other things, they are secondary. There are no rules like that in heaven, that in church, no, just worship God in spirit and in truth. All other things, we should be more simple. Even people who have not met me, they will testify to the fact that Christianity has become simplified and that a lot of things have been made simpler. Even in Africa, without meeting me yet, without coming to Ukraine yet, they are already feeling it, that Christianity has become more simple. Yeah. Christianity has become simpler, that that everything has been simplified. I hear that testimony from other people all the time. They say that after coming to listen to you, everything that was mysterious before has just been simplified, even without me being in Africa yet.
Yeah, you're right, GSA. So now I will give you a picture before I ask a question, GSA. Let us see this picture. I want to compare it as the Ark of Noah in the sea. And people are there inside the ark on the sea. And it is just like the image of the church. Now, GSA will come and say, be careful. In that ark, you have scorpion. Oh, be careful. In that ark, people are deceiver. Oh, be careful. In that ark, there are snakes. Be very careful. There are dangerous animals. You need to free yourself there. So, like asking people to open the window and jump outside. And if they open the windows and jump, they will fall inside water. Was it not proper for GSA to bring another ark first? So that to ask the people that, okay, now, if you want to jump out, you can jump and fall in this ark? Because when they listen at the message, people just want to, like, going out of churches, and yet they don't have any alternative. Was it not proper to prepare an alternative before telling now to people that if it is happening like this, this is another alternative? Was it not proper?
Okay, let's use the...
Can I say it in French?
Yes, please.
Ok, nous voulons déjà... Je pose la question au docteur Sondé Adelaja, parce que vous voyez, lorsqu'on écoute le message du docteur Sondé Adelaja, on a l'impression qu'il demande aux gens de sortir de ces églises où il y a les prédateurs, il y a des vendeurs, toutes sortes d'abus qui sont en train de se passer. Et je posais la question à savoir quelle est l'alternative qu'il présente. Est-ce qu'il n'était pas mieux de présenter d'abord une certaine alternative avant de demander aux gens de se libérer de ces griffes? Voilà la question qui est posée au Dr. Sondé Adelaja. Where will the people go?
So what you are saying is that before I bring the Reformation message, I was supposed to have provided churches or built churches in Africa so that if people leave their congregations, then they were supposed to have a place, alternative places to go to.
Yes,
That's if I understand the question well.
That is the question, yes.
Okay. So, but now what I've done is that I've brought the Reformation message, and people see that they cannot go to all those churches anymore where they are going to, and that but they still don't have anywhere to go to, because if they, like your analogy, if they jump out of the window of that ark, they will fall into their death.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the analogy of that Noah's ark. In my own understanding of that analogy, even though there are dangerous animals there, different ones, snakes, scorpions, lions, and, yes, different animals. what I would say, the way I would see that ark is that you don't need another ark, and you don't need to jump from the window. You need to walk in the Spirit. When you walk in the Spirit, you'll be able to be at peace with all the animals. You can say, peace, be still. Peace, be still. That is what Christian life is supposed to be. Jesus said, don't take them away from the world, though. Keep them in this world. But, while they are in the world, they are not of the world.
Yeah.
But they are in the world, you will keep them in this world. And that's why what I'm trying to teach people is that you don't have any problem with denominations or churches or the unbelievers around you. No, you are on top of the world all by yourself. And what makes you to be on top of the world is that you are in Christ. When you are in Christ, you are in the Spirit. And when you are in the Spirit, the Bible says that those who worship Him, who worship God, must worship Him in spirit and in truth. As long as you have that personal relationship with God, walking with God in spirit and in truth, that truth that is in you, that spirit that is in you, you will follow the leading of that spirit. And by living from the Spirit, you will be able to have peace and even subdue. You will subdue the animals. You will subdue the wild animals. You will subdue the scorpions. That's why He said, I give unto you power. So you will tread on serpents and on scorpions, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. You already have power not to run away from snakes. We are not called to run away. Could be Christians who run away from problems, who run away from wild animals, who run away from danger. No, I wrote a book. It's called Hello, I Am Searching for Problems. If you don't know that Bible, you have to read it. We are Christians. We don't run away from problems. The Bible already told us that greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. So we look for problems. We subdue the world. He said, I give unto you power. Behold, I give unto you power. I give unto you authority to step on all dangerous animals, scorpions, on serpents, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Be hooked to God like that. Be hooked to Jesus like that. Be one with your Father, and you'll be able to go in the cool of the day to the animals and to their section, and be able to play with them, and be able to feed them, and be able to have harmonious relationship with them. In Isaiah chapter 11, he says, in that day there shall be a time will come when children of God will live together with the wild animals, with the lions, with the elephants, and all of them will live in harmony. It is that harmony that, when you don't feel threatened by animals or by people, but when you know that you are the owner of the earth, you are the ruler of the planet. He said, I made man in my own image. He said, and God blessed them to have dominion. To have dominion not just upon the earth and upon the trees, but upon the animals as well. We are here to have dominion. We are here to manage the earth. So you are not supposed to run away from the animals. You are supposed to tame the animals. You are not supposed to run away from the lions. You are supposed to, manage them. Manage all the animals. Put them in order. Put them to work and make them benefit the earth and reveal the glory of the Father. So when it comes now to church, like you are talking about, in a practical sense, I don't plan to go and start a church when I go to Nigeria. When I go to Nigeria, I will not start a church. What I plan to do is to find out those people who are already doing church. Either they are doing it wrongly, or they are doing it badly, or they want to do it right. I take the message of the kingdom to them, to all of them, both the ones that are doing it well, the ones that are doing it poorly, badly, the ones that are evil, the ones that are good. I take the message of the kingdom to all of them, all pastors, all of them. And I said, this is the way it's supposed to be done. No? This is the way the kingdom is supposed to. So, but those ones of them who are truth seekers, they will discover that this is the truth here. And those of them who are truth lovers will come to me and say, okay, please help us. We want to do this thing right. Only we didn't know. This is the way we have been taught. Then I hope to be able to gather those people and help them to be able to do church right. So the churches that are wrong today might still have the possibility of changing their ways and doing things right. The churches that, some churches have not even started. So a lot of new generation of people will be saying, we also want to start a new church, but we don't want to start it the way it was done wrong. If they are truth seekers, they will come and we will train them to go and start church in a way that is supposed to be done, in the kingdom way, rather than the way it is being done right now. So I'm going to find peace with them. So I'm going to raise up a whole lot of a new generation of pastors all over Africa, from the old and from the new, but a whole new generation of pastors who will go and preach the gospel of the kingdom and do church in the way it's supposed to be done.
Okay, now I get the point, GSA, but despite your answer, in case people don't want to listen at GSA and people still want to continue in their own ways, how will GSA do? Because some people even think that even as GSA is saying that he's not going to Nigeria to open church, he's going for Nigeria transformation. Some people might think that GSA is so smart that he's just playing, he's just talking like that because he wants to prepare people's heart to be going out and to be waiting so that by the time he will arrive. Because now, like people following you, if they are coming from churches, for instance, whereby the message of the kingdom are not really well taken, and they are working with you, GSA, how will you lead them? On Sunday, will you allow them to still continue fellowshipping in those churches, so-called cult, in brackets, and coming to work for national transformation? Or how are you going to manage your follower in that case? I don't know if you are getting the point. Parce que il peut arriver, j'étais en train de poser la question au docteur Sonda Deladja. Beaucoup de gens pensent en fait que, bien qu'il dise qu'il n'a pas l'intention d'ouvrir ou d'établir une église, parce qu'avec sa réponse tout à l'heure, il a dit qu'il n'a pas l'intention d'ouvrir une église, mais il veut empower, il veut travailler avec des pasteurs, il veut leur présenter le message, le message du royaume, afin que ceux qui vont pouvoir accepter soient prédisposés à ça. De même que la nouvelle génération des pasteurs montants qui peut-être veulent commencer et étaient hésitants, mais aujourd'hui, ils sont disposés à commencer, mais sous de nouvelles fondations. D'aucuns pensent que c'est une stratégie du docteur Sonda Deladja pour essayer d'amadouer les gens et les calmer et les endormir, et que les gens peut-être soient prédisposés de sorte à ce que lorsqu'il arrive, qu'ils puissent le joindre. Je posais donc la question à savoir, ceux qui vont le suivre, ses disciples qui l'écoutent, est-ce qu'il va accepter, au cas où le message qu'il apporte n'est pas accepté et trouve une certaine résistance, est-ce qu'il sera disposé à ce que ceux qui sont avec lui pour impacter et transformer le Nigeria, est-ce qu'il va accepter qu'ils soient ensemble, mais que de temps en temps, ou les dimanches ou les jours de réunion, ils se retrouvent dans les églises, et dans ces églises, entre guillemets, et continuer à développer leur vie spirituelle? Comment il va gérer ça? How are you going to cope if the message is not received and some of the people following you are, how are they going to be doing? Will you still allow them to still continue to fellowship in those churches?
No, first of all, I think you are coming from the mindset or from a world, a religious world, where people attach members to themselves and followers to themselves. I don't own people. I don't attach people to myself. If people respect me, good for them. If they don't respect me, good for them. If they are following my messages, good for them. If they don't follow, good for them. But the fact that you are following my messages doesn't mean that you are my member. Even in Kyiv here in Ukraine, we don't have members. We have members, people who come to church, but we don't have registry. We don't have registration, no paper to say you are a member. You don't have to sign or fill anything. You are not a member. You are a free human being. So people who are listening to me in Africa or in Nigeria, they don't belong to me. They do what they want to do. What I do is that I bring the word to them. The same thing I'm doing here on Facebook. When I get to Africa, that's what I will do. I teach you. I present the truth to you. Whatever you want with it is what you will do. If you want to, you listen to it. If you don't want to, you go and keep on doing what you are doing. So what do I do? Let's say on a Sunday, people are coming to work with me for national transformation. I don't care where they go to on Sunday. It's not my problem. It's their own choice. I don't control their lives. They can go to wherever they want. I expect that if they have been trained by me, they will not be going back to the religious churches. But if they see a reason for it for themselves, they decide. I don't decide for them. I don't decide what they do, where they go. No pastor should do that. A pastor should just teach you. The only instrument we have is to sow the word into you. And then you decide to do what you want with that word. I don't control where they go, either they will go to church, they don't go to church, either they will go to the old or to the new, or they don't even go anywhere. My own is just that I told you the truth. The same thing Jesus did. A multitude of people were following Jesus. Did he direct them to any church? He didn't. Even the disciples, they didn't direct anybody to any particular church. They were just teaching. That's the only thing they had. The only way, their own thing is they are slaves and servants. They give you instruction, they tell you what is right, what is true, and you choose to do what. But the way we are used to in our churches is that since you respect me and you follow me, it means I control your life. No, we don't do that here.
Now, DSA, let me ask a question. When we look at the history of Christianity, we will see that at a certain moment, we had Catholicism. Then when people start, we now see the new movement with Martin Luther, that saw certain things that were not working, and they brought the Protestantism. Then from the Protestantism also, we have Pentecostal. Now, today, we are seeing all what is happening with brainwash, what is happening in Pentecostal churches. One could believe that GSA is trying to set up a new movement. Is that?
Yes.
Est-ce que, après le catholicisme, on a eu le mouvement du protestantisme. Après le mouvement du protestantisme, découlait également le pentecôtisme. Et aujourd'hui, avec le, you used to call it syncretism,
yes.
That is in the charismatic milieu.
Yes.
Avec le syncrétisme qu'on observe dans le milieu charismatique, qu'on peut appeler les milieux de pentecôtistes ou le milieu des églises dites de réveil, la question que je pose c'est, est-ce que après ce mouvement, après le catholicisme, protestantisme, pentecôtisme, est-ce que GSA est en train d'impulser un nouveau mouvement?
Yes, I'm starting a new movement for sure. But it's not a movement in the way that you understand it. In the way you understand movement, I must be at the head of the movement. I must be the president or the CEO or the bishop or the GO, and then everybody else must be under me. We must be a hierarchy. No, that's not the way I understand movement. The way I understand movement is all of us are on the same level. We are friends and colleagues who know the truth. So it's the movement of the truth, not a movement of denomination.
Wow.
Because that is exactly the same thing that Martin Luther, the reformer, did. It's the same thing that Calvin did, John Calvin.
Yeah.
They all didn't start their churches. Well, I know there is a Lutheran church now, but it was not started until a few years after, not even a few years, decades after the death of Martin Luther. When he was alive, he didn't start any church. Calvin, we didn't start any church. It was people who followed them who now wanted to do denomination. So I think I'm the same thing. I'm starting a movement, but it's a movement for truth, for what is right. It could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be a denominational movement. I might start a church if God tells me to start a church, but that doesn't mean that everybody in this movement must be in my church. No, they don't have to be. They can do their own church. I might not start a church. Let other people start churches and lead the movement and start and gather people if they want to gather people. It doesn't have to be me.
Last Sunday when we were in the church, during church service, GSA, it happened that there is one of your guests that is a pastor and was just seated beside us. And when during the church service, as we were seeing people very free, the service was going on, and we had to ask him a question. We told him that as a pastor, since he is also in Europe, we asked him that do you have this same atmosphere, church service in your church? When we asked him, he said no, because he is a black pastor. Then we continue by asking him that what is happening? Why is it that you don't have the same atmosphere? So what he told us is that, first of all, you need to understand that GSA is very creative, first. Then secondly, he says that the problem also is because we are duplicating what we have received. That what we are teaching today is what we have received. So, and when you look at in Africa, the church environment, most of the time you see that most of the church leaders are interconnected within them. When they're receiving a Bible school or whatsoever, this pastor will call his friend that will come, and almost it is the same doctrine that they are giving. But with this new movement that you are starting, one could believe that surely and surely I think you have even given the answer, because I wanted to say that, will you set up a school to train leaders so that new ministers that want to start afresh and to do things differently, surely they need to come and be trained for that?
Yes, it is a possibility.
Just if you allow. Okay. Donc je posais la question parce que il était question de savoir, le docteur Sondé Adelaja est en train de parler d'un nouveau mouvement, en fait, faire les choses de manière différente. Donc j'étais en train de lui poser la question, à savoir, on se rend compte qu'aujourd'hui, les leaders généralement dupliquent simplement ce qu'ils ont reçu. C'est-à-dire que parce que j'ai été enseigné par X, j'ai été enseigné par Y, je me retrouve juste en train de dupliquer ce que j'ai reçu. Et ceci part d'un constat, parce que dimanche, lorsque nous étions à l'église du docteur Sondé Adelaja, pendant que le service était en train de se passer, il y a un pasteur africain qui est dans un pays européen qui était tout près de nous. Et je lui ai juste posé la question, à savoir, avec l'atmosphère de liberté qu'il voyait dans l'église, est-ce qu'il y a cette même atmosphère dans sa communauté? Et la réponse qu'il a donnée était simplement non. Il a dit que sincèrement, il n'y a pas cette même flamme, cette même liberté. Et lorsqu'on lui a posé la question que qu'est-ce qu'il pense qu'il puisse expliquer le fait que ce n'est pas la même ambiance qu'on retrouve dans son assemblée alors qu'il est en Europe également, la seule chose qu'il a trouvé à nous dire, c'était de dire qu'en fait, parce que nous ne dupliquons, nous ne transmettons que ce que nous avons reçu. Donc, ce sont les enseignements que nous avons reçus qu'on se retrouve simplement en train de pouvoir dupliquer et de pouvoir enseigner aux uns aux autres. Je posais donc la question au docteur Sondé Adelaja, à savoir comment gérer ce genre de situation. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, on a sûrement des jeunes ministres, des jeunes qui sont appelés et qui sentent l'appel dans leur cœur. Ils veulent véritablement commencer le ministère. Et est-ce que le docteur Sondé Adelaja, à son niveau, a préparé déjà un certain cadre qui donnera l'opportunité à ces jeunes ministres-là de pouvoir être moulés de manière différente, de pouvoir voir les choses différentes et d'être à mesure de pouvoir faire les choses différentes, de manière différente. Parce que la vérité, qu'on le veuille ou qu'on ne le veuille pas, nous allons nous rencontrer et comme j'étais en train de lui dire, généralement les leaders sont interconnectés en fonction des courants de pensée et des mouvements. Tel autre va appeler son ami qui est dans tel autre pays, mais qui croit aux mêmes enseignements, qui ont sensiblement la même doctrine, qui ont sensiblement les mêmes dogmes. Et comment est-ce que ça va se passer? Parce qu'on se retrouve en train de dupliquer cela, on duplique ce qu'on a reçu, mais avec la stratégie et le message du royaume dont parle le docteur Sondé Adelaja, est-ce que, quelle est la stratégie qu'il trouve pour ces jeunes ministères qui vont devoir se lancer? So, how will a young minister that didn't attend the Bible school training launch his own ministry in these days?
Well, the most important thing that people need to know is not the structure, which sometimes we overemphasize structure, Bible school, seminary, and things like that. But What matters is the training itself, the content that people will get. I personally think that the content that people can get from my mentorship program online, which doesn't have teachers, classroom, might even be more serious than any Bible school. Do you know that for you to get a master's degree, a BA, BA bachelor degree, or master's, no, not master, BSc, BSc, that is bachelor.
BSc, c'est la licence.
Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts.
Yeah.
For you to get Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science in university, let's say the US, for example, you need 100 hours of lectures.
Okay.
That are taught. No, you have some homeworks and things, but the lectures is 100 hours. Do you know that just listening to my live broadcast or my YouTube page, if you go to my YouTube page, let's say take one series, Love Series, that's number one. That Love Series has already more than 100 hours. That just one series, you can already get one batch. Just for one series, you can get bachelor degree.
Yeah.
And most of Bible school, they don't even have up to bachelor degree. And I have over 30 series there. In fact, I have hours. How many hours of teachings do I have on? I have over 1 million hours of teachings.
Wow.
On YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes.
Wow.
So you can get any kind of degree you want, but it's through discipline. So it doesn't have to be Bible school or college seminary or something. It's about training, the content that you get. Okay. I have never been trained in a Bible school or in a seminary, but I've been able to do self-education and self-development that now I teach people who teach in Bible school or who own Bible schools. And I even myself own Bible school. We have many schools in our church here. So yes, there will be schools. Wow. Yes, there will be trainings, but either it's going to be Bible school or seminary or just from YouTube or just from mentorship. I am training, I'm big on training. We will train people. But it doesn't have to be the structure that is the big deal, but the content, that the lessons that the person gets.
Wow. I think your answer just help us also with the question 9. Okay. So we are going to move directly to question 10. Okay. Question 10, what I want to ask... What I will ask you, GSA, is that once someone discusses with you, they see a kind of balance politically, in the area of sport, in the area of science, in at least when they discuss with GSA, you really see that there is a great balance. And with the challenges we have on the 21st century, what is the required profile a pastor needs in this generation to be effective in his ministry? Donc, je pose la question à savoir le profil nécessaire qu'il faut à un pasteur pour être effectif dans son ministère dans cette génération. Parce que lorsque vous échangez avec le docteur Sondé Adeladja, vous voyez un certain équilibre et une certaine connaissance dans tous les domaines. I can remember 2 days ago, you were talking to us about our footballer. You were talking about Kana Biik, Oman Biik, Roger Mila. You were talking about Bell, Thomas Nkono, and I was very surprised. So, and when they listen at GSA talking of politics, once will believe that you're a politician. So, the question now is, what is the required profile today, in these days, for a minister to have effective ministry?
I have a whole playlist on my YouTube page. It's called Pastoring Without Tears. So if anybody that wants to be a minister will go and look for that series, it's called Pastoring Without Tears. That will really help the person. But there are a lot of things that you need to know. I've written books on church, on ministry, and I have a whole book that is called Pastoring Without Tears. And then there is another playlist that is called How to Change a Nation. So those 2 playlists, How to Change a Nation and Pastoring Without Tears will help anyone who is a minister. But let me just answer your question with a basic requirement.
Yeah.
The basic requirement you will need is the desire, the hunger after God and the things of God. The desire and hunger to want to please God, number one. Number two, the desire to want to know God and his ways.
Okay.
Number three, the desire to improve yourself, the hunger to add value to yourself.
Thank you, DSA. So what are the tools the 21st century church needs to have or use in order to impact the society?
Oh, yes. That's exactly what I was referring to when I said people should go to Pastoring Without Tears.
The series.
The series Pastoring Without Tears, playlist Pastoring Without Tears, because that topic you just asked right now, this 21st century church,
Yeah.
I've done maybe 4 or 5 programs on this topic, what pastors would need to be able to build 21st century ministry. And each one of the programs is about 2 hours each. So 2 hours times 5, that's 10 hours minimum, just on this topic, on this question alone, this one question. So there is no way I can say, you know,
21st century
church.
Yeah,
Yes.
the tools the
Yes.
church need so
21st
that
century.
it should be able
It's
to
it's under Pastoring Without Tears playlist.
JSA, let me ask you now the next question. Is the church the only tool or the only environment that equips people to better know and serve God? Est-ce que l'Église est le seul environnement qui permet, ou le seul outil qui permet de mieux outiller les gens afin de leur permettre de pouvoir mieux servir Dieu?
No, it doesn't have to be church. It doesn't have to be religion.
Okay.
You know, right now the world is changing. There are many other platforms where you could get to know about God. You know, Bible schools, internet, different places. Anywhere there is information, and there is information everywhere now. So it doesn't have to be church. Church is good, but it cannot be only church. Books, videos.
Okay, we are entering now some general question, DSA. Do you think being born again will automatically make you to be member of a charisma church? I'm answering this question because in Francophone milieu, most of the time there are always some challenges. When, let me take the example of marriage. When a charismatic want to get married to a Catholic or a Presbyterian or an Orthodox or a Lutheran or an Evangelical or a Baptist, the look they are looking towards him is almost like he's backsliding. So in the Francophone area, most of the time, it is like when you don't join the charismatic milieu, your faith must be questioned. Donc l'approche que nous avons généralement dans les milieux charismatiques, j'ai pris l'exemple du mariage. Quand vous voyez quelqu'un d'un milieu de pentecôtiste avoir comme proposé une sœur d'un milieu évangélique, catholique ou quoi que ce soit, généralement le regard social provenant de son environnement donne l'impression qu'il est en train de rétrograder ou quoi que ce soit. Donc je posais donc la question au docteur Sondé Adeladia à savoir, est-ce que naître de nouveau doit être assimilé à faire partie ou intégrer une église de réveil?
Okay, the charismatic churches, they are the most advanced of the Christian denominations in the world. The Pentecostal charismatic, they are the most advanced. Truth must be spoken. But unfortunately, some people have destroyed and they have contaminated this Pentecostal charismatic movement. And the people who contaminated it are the Word of Faith movement people from America. Okay. People that we see on television who are doing Word of Faith kind of preaching. They are the prosperity preachers, you could say. Yeah. So these prosperity preachers are the ones who have destroyed charismatic Pentecostal movement. And Africa has bought into that, and a lot of Africans believe in these people, and it's unfortunate. So, but what I would say is that, you know, you don't have to join any church. either charismatic or Pentecostal or Catholic, or you don't have to join any church. Once you get born again, you are already a member of the universal church, of the body of Christ, of the celestial church. You are already a member of Jesus' church, even if you don't go to anywhere. The only reason you go to any church is just for fellowship and for you to be able to serve and be able to be a blessing to other people. Otherwise, you don't have to be. So when it comes to marriage between people from other denominations, what really will matter is this, that if I'm coming from a Pentecostal church and I want to marry somebody from a Catholic church, I must make sure that that person in the Catholic church has personal relationship with God, just like I have personal relationship with God. Even if he's going to the Catholic church or Baptist church or any other church, but does he know God? Does he know Jesus the way I know Jesus? Maybe not on my level, but does he have personal relationship with the Lord? If I'm not sure he has personal relationship, then it's not advisable, because that is when you now say, you don't want to, it's going to lead to a lot of crisis, because you have too many differences, and it might complicate things for you.
Thank you. GSA, when they listen at you, they quickly discover that most of your messages seems to be oriented towards Nigerian church.
Yes.
Is your mission specific to Nigeria or general to African nation, or you are called to bring change in Africa, but just establishing yourself in Nigeria as an epicenter to bring change in all Africa, or is it called to change Africa? La question que je pose est de savoir, parce que lorsque vous suivez le docteur Sunday Adelaja, il dit toujours qu'il doit rentrer au Nigeria, rentrer au Nigeria, rentrer au Nigeria. Et la plupart des messages qu'il prêche, ou alors la plupart des tas qu'il relève dans les églises, il prend toujours comme exemple les églises du Nigeria. Donc la question est de savoir, est-ce que son appel est spécifiquement pour le Nigeria, ou alors c'est un appel pour l'Afrique en général, mais en utilisant le Nigeria comme l'épicentre pour que le mouvement puisse impacter toute l'Afrique?
You see, if you go to Nigeria now, or Zimbabwe, or Cameroon, or France, or Germany, and you're looking for Christian books, it is most likely that most of the Christian books that you are going to find in those countries are coming from America.
Yeah.
And when you read those Christian books that are coming from America, or you listen to the messages of those, even the denominations that you see in those countries that I just mentioned, almost all churches have their origin from America, or influence from America.
Yeah.
And when you listen to those messages of those pastors or men of God from America, or you read their books, the only example, 90% of the examples you see in their books are about America.
You mean Nigeria?
Either in Nigeria, or if you see any book that is written by an American, and there are many books in Christian churches, either in Nigeria, Cameroon, or anywhere, there are a lot of books that are coming from America. If you take any of those books, the reference will be about America most of the time. The reference is always from America. So if you read, let's take Kenneth Hagin for example. You read any of his books, 99% of all the examples are about America. But that didn't stop Kenneth Copeland, Benny Hinn, everybody is always about where they are based, where they are called. So you see that their main calling is for their country.
America.
It's for America. But that doesn't limit the message. And the message, when the whole world is embracing the message and everybody is following them and reading their books, the same thing with me. So the fact that I'm making most of my references and inferences to Nigeria is the same thing. But the truth that cannot be limited by one territory or by one country. The truth will go to all countries anyway. Whether it's going to go to other African countries or East European countries or America, the truth that I'm teaching is for the whole body of Christ. It's for God, for all countries. But because God instructed me to go back to Nigeria, so Nigeria is going to be my base. But from there, we are going to change the world. And we are going to make Nigeria the #1 Christian country in the world.
the number one economy, as you used to say.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesse. So one may feel there is a constant that all of us, even most of us that are in Francophone country, one may easily feel that Christianity is expanding faster in English-speaking country than French-speaking nation. Do you have the same feeling? And what could be the reason? Also, I don't know if GSA has some contact with some Francophone pastor. I remember I saw on Facebook a report that was made in France with a pastor. I don't know, is there any contact with Francophone pastor? And what is your thought over it? The gospel is going faster in Anglophone country than Francophone country. What could be the reason?
Yes, there are many reasons for this. And one of the reasons is that the Pentecostal, when you are talking about this gospel, you are talking probably about the Pentecostal church.
The charismatic.
The charismatic Pentecostal.
Yeah.
You will see that most of the movement, most of this movement that we are referring to, charismatic and Pentecostal, they originated from America.
From America, that is.
And America is an English-speaking country. And because it's an English-speaking country, they don't learn French or Spanish first. They just go and use their language. And they go to countries where they could easily speak. Yeah. And they will not need to translate or things like that. Mm-hmm. So that is one reason why a lot of those, most of the English-speaking countries have more progress. And then also because when something is happening in America, the people who will understand them first are people who understand English. Yeah. So, for example, if there is a revival going on in America right now, maybe there will be people from Cameroon or from Ivory Coast or from French-speaking countries, but maybe there will be 1% who will understand what is happening in America, who understand English. But then in Nigeria, it will be like 50% or 100%. People, they will know, so they are more exposed to what is happening there, and they will be the first to go and take it. So I think that's just the reason why that has happened.
Any contact with the French pastor, Doctor?
Yes.
You remember there is a report?
Yes, I have contact with a few French pastors, but not too many.
You still have them even up to date?
Yes.
You are still communicating, you are still in relationship with them?
Some people are following us, some people are in relationship, yes.
And what do you think can be a strategy that you recommend to promote the gospel in the Francophone area?
Nothing special, the same thing. We just need to understand one another. Once we understand one another, we can be doing the same thing in everywhere.
Let's go back to Nigeria, DSA.
Yes.
Let's go back a little bit in Nigeria. You said God has sent you to go and do a national transformation in Nigeria.
Yes.
And all of us, we know very well, as you are teaching us, that there are some sphere of influence whereby they need to be present whenever we want to bring a change or a national transformation. What are the tools DSA will use to bring transformation in Nigeria? Religion, economic, what are the tools DSA is going to use for that transformation?
When we talk about national transformation, when I talk about national transformation in Nigeria, I want to bring about, my dream is to build a whole different country, a new country. I want to be able to touch the life of every Nigerian. I want to be able to touch the lives of people in every state, in every local government, and I want to be able to improve the life of influence and improve the life of 99% of Nigerians. So that would be, we have 200 million. I want to be able to touch at least 190 million, or maybe the whole of 200 million people, and improve their lives. So that's going to cover everything. It's going to cover religion, it's going to cover economy, it's going to cover politics, it's going to cover social life, it's going to cover education, it's going to cover, everything.
Jesse, can I know your thought about there is a verse that we are using that it's bringing a lot of misinterpretation in the Francophone area, and that most of the time brings Christians to be very lazy. I want to talk of Psalm 127 verse 2. That says, "It is in vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrow, for so he giveth his beloved sleep." So most of
Why
the
don't
time,
you start from verse 1?
okay, we could start from we could start from verse 1 that says that
If the Lord doesn't build the
oui,
house,
si l'Éternel le bâtit, celui qui bâtit, bâtit en vain. Si l'Éternel ne garde une ville, celui qui garde en vain. Yeah, before we arrive there.
Yes.
Because most of the time, I
he
remember...
that is, if the Lord doesn't build the house, the builders and the laborers are laboring in vain. And if the Lord doesn't guard the city, the people who are protecting it, guarding it, the watchmen are washing in vain. Yes.
Yeah, I want to know your thought, GSA, because most of the time when you read this verse, people always say that, no, there is no need to work hard, there is no need to pay a kind of price, because when you are sleeping, God will always give to his children when they are asleep. So I remember very well, I was watching...
That is not what is said in that verse.
Okay. Okay, so before you answer, GSA, let me say in French. Ce verset nous dit clairement, je voudrais avoir l'avis du DSC par rapport à Psaume 127, le verset 2, qui dit « En vain vous levez-vous le bon matin, vous vous couchez tard et vous mangez le pain de la douleur. Il en donne autant à ses bien-aimés pendant le sommeil. » Parce que généralement, les uns et les autres se disent que c'est pas le travail dur, le travail acharné n'est pas la portion des enfants de Dieu, parce que le Seigneur veille à le donner à ses enfants pendant qu'ils sont en train de dormir en plein sommeil. And I quite remember, GSA, one day I was watching it happened that by that time I was in the parlor and the program was going on live. So I listened at the man of God that was preaching, and he says, it has been, you people are working hard. You go out in the morning, you work till evening, and you labor like an elephant, and you eat as an ant. I'm telling you, the Bible makes us to understand that he gives to his children when they are asleep. Under this prophetic anointing, I decree that you will walk as an ant and eat as an elephant. So this is really what is happening, and they always use this biblical verse. So what is your thought towards this biblical verse?
My thought towards the people who are saying this, before I go to the biblical verse, is that they should have to look for my book. Please look for that book. Labor is better than work is better than vacation, and labor is better than favor. Look for the book and put it.
Work is better than favor, because the other people say favor is better than labor. Yeah.
But we are saying labor is better than favor. That's the title of my book.
Labor is better than favor.
Yes.
On which they are saying that favor is better than labor.
That's why it's for them I wrote the book now. I wrote the book for them, and the book is called Work is Better Than Vacation. Labor is better than favor.
Wow.
This is the book.
Wow.
Work is better than vacation. Labor better than favor.
Jesse, before you continue, I know a renowned pastor that was preaching and was saying that why is it that favor is better than labor? He was saying that when you labor, you buy something, but you earn money maybe to buy something. And he was saying that is it not better for you that what you have labored to pay, that someone should offer it to you? Is it not better for God to offer it to you rather than you paying the price to work to buy it? And he was giving the conclusion that favor is better than labor.
Okay. So, because they are just saying those words, right? But I wrote a whole book, 200-page book, to answer them. But so, I know somebody who read this book, and the person said he got delivered so big. In fact, I think the person is based in Zambia or something. They said, I read this book. He used to go to Winners Chapel or so in that country. I said, I read this book. Whoo! And said that it became so liberated. I mean, the person started making money and all that. And the person said, so it's so easy to be successful in life. without mystery, because they were in the church. He used to go to everything used to be mystery. Mystery. But when he read the book, he just said, "Let me just forget about this church
this
mystery thing. I just walk with my hand and labor with myself." So now let's go back to the scripture that you referred to.
Yeah, Psalms 127.
Psalm 127 says that in vain, people who labor, people who are building this a house, they are building in vain if the Lord will not build. And people who are guarding the city are washing in vain if the Lord will not guard. But you see, before God will guard and before God will build, there were some people who are building. People who are building in vain are the people who are building the house if the Lord will not build. But they are building the house. So they are building the house and God is blessing it or is building it. Yeah. There are people, but people who are building the house, people,
they are there.
They are there.
Yeah.
There is no blessing without building. God cannot build, God cannot come and bless what you have not built. So he said in vain they are laboring, but they have to labor. The only thing is just to make sure that you don't labor in vain.
In vain.
They are watching over the city. They are not asking God to say, I'm going to sleep at home. Oh. That is not what that thing is saying. He didn't say, go and sleep and God will come and wash. No. What that thing is saying is that as you are washing, God is washing with you. But you must wash.
Yeah.
If you are not washing, God cannot wash with you. If you are sleeping at home, God will not come and wash with you. So, but the same thing to build. If you are not building anything, God cannot bless anything you are building. Because you are not building anyway. He will bless the one that is already working, building. That's how people manipulate and just take the place of the scripture that they like. So what about this place that says he gives his beloved? Read that verse 2.
Yeah, he says, let's go back. Can you put it? 2, it is, It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows. For so he giveth his beloved sleep.
Yes. So what does that say? You remember it started with verse 1 that if you want to labor, you have to, you have to have God's blessing.
Yeah.
Then if you want to wash over something, you have to have God's blessing also. But for you to go and labor, you have to wake up early. For you to go and wash also, you are not sleeping. So he's talking about the process of work that you have to do, the labor that you put in. But with God's blessing, it is established. Now, why is it that it says at the end that God gives his beloved sleep? Mm-hmm. He's not saying that go and sleep and then God will build the house. That's not what he said. Yeah. He's not saying go and sleep and God will wash the city. Mm-hmm. But sleep comes only after
for
hard
those
work.
That have work.
So when you have worked hard, God will give you sleep. That's what that place is talking about.
So sleep, in fact, is a
reward.
A reward
for hard work.
For hard work. Can we say, GSA, that just as God was creating the world, the whole world, the Bible says he worked 6 days and the 7th day he has to rest. But after working 6 days, before now he can rest the 7 days.
Sabbath is the same thing as rest or peace or sleep. Sabbath. So that is it. But you don't deserve Sabbath if you have not worked for 6 days before.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that's scripture.
Yeah.
But people who are lazy in their head and they are lazy in their lifestyle, I want to manipulate so that you bring money to them. Of course, who are the people talking like that? They are pastors mainly.
Yeah.
Why? Because they don't need to work. You are the one giving them the money. All the church members are going to work from Monday to Friday, giving them money. They are not working. They are just spending they don't know what it costs you to bring the money. They are just spending the money, and they are then doing Shanghai upon you that, you are wasting time, you are doing this, because the money is too cheap. The way it's coming to them, it's without labor. It's too cheap. They are not laboring, and they are reaping it. So can you now imagine the whole country not laboring and doing like them? Nobody will ever eat. Everybody will die in hunger. because they are used to not getting anything. I mean, not working
Not
for what
working.
they get.
Yeah.
So they think that they are just boasting in it, that it is God that has done it, that we are not working and yet we are getting. No, it is because they have brainwashed people. And it is as a result of the brainwash that now they are not working and they are eating. But it is a curse rather. They are, there is a stolen bread. They are actually stealing from those people. They are parasites. They are becoming parasites. All those pastors who are just living off tithe and offering from people, they are parasites. They are living off of other people's labor. It is evil that they are doing, because other people are working and they are just taking from them and eating it. It is evil.
Just say before, maybe we should take the remaining questions that are not more plenty. I think it will be better for you to remind callers how to do in case they want to give.
So that it will not be like yesterday. Because yesterday people wanted to call in, but it was too late. So for those people who want to call into the program, I would like to encourage you to go to Facebook Messenger. And when you get to Facebook Messenger, look for Move Agents. Move Agents. And when you get to Move Agents, just send a message to us that you would like to call. Do it now, because once we finish and we don't have your message, we just assume there are no callers and we'll finish. So if you would like to call to this program, go to Facebook Messenger, look for Move Agents, one word, Move Agents, Madik at the end. Then you go and write that I want to call or can I call, and we will call you back.
Donc le docteur Sondé Adelaja, pour vous très chers internautes qui sont en train de nous suivre, quel que soit le lieu où vous vous trouvez, s'il arrive que vous souhaitez passer un coup de fil afin de contribuer par rapport à ce programme, apporter un élément ou un autre, ou peut-être même poser une question relevant de la francophonie, le docteur Sondé Adelaja donne en fait l'approche qui nous permet de pouvoir. Il s'agit d'aller dans Facebook Messenger et vous allez retrouver Move Agents qui s'écrit Move Agent Magic. Move Agents en un seul mot, M-O-V-E-A-G-E-N-T-S, Move Agents Magic. Vous allez sur Messenger, vous écrivez simplement que vous voulez passer un coup de fil. Lorsque vous allez écrire que vous voulez passer un coup de fil, on va vous appeler et vous serez en direct. Et question de pouvoir réagir directement en direct. JSA, I still want to talk about Francophone area. There is an issue that is proper for Francophone milieu, and I want to find out, I would like you to give your thought about it. It concerns the wealth creation. In Francophone countries, it is so scared to when they are talking of somebody being wealthy. You can see, I don't want to take that picture, but let me just take it in comparison, even though it is a questionable comparison. You easily see, you have Nigerian pastors, Anglophone, they have their jet, but in Francophone, you will not easily see that a pastor has a jet or whatsoever. Whenever somebody is like billionaire or making it wealth, it is like his faith is questionable. That is in Francophone environment. Wealth is like people don't believe that as a believer you can make it well until you reach the top. What do you think can be the cause, DSC?
Oh, there are many reasons for that, and it used to be the same thing in Nigeria, for example. And when you talk about Anglophone countries or English-speaking countries, it's the same thing. If you go to any country in the world that is English-speaking, apart from America, you will never see any pastor with a jet.
Okay.
The only country in the world that has pastors with a jet is only Nigeria and maybe America. That's all. If you go to South Africa, you will not see a pastor with a jet. If you go to Kenya, you will not see a pastor with a jet. You go to Ghana, you will not see a pastor with a jet. It's all Nigeria. And there is also another reason for that, apart from the evil doctrine of robbing people and eating their food and taking money from them. It's just that Nigerians are lucky. And what makes them to be lucky is that, they have been able to, the economic difficulties in Nigeria and, the doctrines of brainwashing has been so propagated for the past 30 years in Nigeria. Even these people that are using jet now, when they started 30 years ago, they were not using jet. But because a large portion of the Nigerian population have rushed into the church, so we have maybe 40 or 50% of Nigerians going to those churches. So it doesn't even matter if you are Christian or not Christian. If when you have the half of the population of a whole country going to church, you will see people who are rich there, either you like or not. You know, it's not because they are teaching something or not. It's just because it's the reality. There will be people who are wealthy. It's the same thing with the mosque. There are wealthy people who are going there as well. So, and also that is the second factor. If you go to all the Francophone countries, there is no mass movement of the population to the church. Like in Nigeria, for example. It's very difficult. It's not as big, as intense. Maybe in most Francophone countries, you have 20% of people who are born again. But in Nigeria, it's a whole lot of people, much more. So because of the large number, that brings that effect. The same thing in America. So that is another factor. Another reason is because the economy of Nigeria naturally is bigger and is the richest economy in the world, just like America. Because in Africa, America also is a rich economy. So that's why they could afford jets. The same thing with Nigeria. It's a rich economy. That's why they could afford jets. Because, for example, even apart from Christians, not that about Christians now, talk about just regular people. I don't think there is any businessman in Cameroon that has private jet. I don't think so. You know, even they are not Christians or Christians. Not just in Cameroon, but in most countries of the world, not too many especially in Africa. If there are not too many people who are, having private jets. Apart from that, Nigeria has Nigeria and South Africa are the only ones, and then Egypt, who have many billionaires in US dollars. Almost no countries in Africa, Black Africa, have billionaires in US dollars. Very few. We know maybe Sudan has one.
In Cameroon
maybe
also
Cameroon
we have
one.
Yeah, Forbes, the last Forbes is putting
one person.
Dampulos.
One person, right?
Yeah, I think.
So you have one person in Cameroon, but it's too few. But when you talk about Nigeria, you must have 50. So when you talk about billionaires, it also depends on the size and the prosperity of the economy.
Local economy. GSA, please, I would like to have we'll bring up another biblical verse.
Of course, there are doctrinal reasons. Some people could come and say, God doesn't want you to be rich. That there are doctrinal reasons that you don't, that doctrinal reasons that God doesn't want you to be rich and God wants you to be poor. Those kind of doctrines are also everywhere. But it is not doctrine that makes you rich. It is, the loss of money that makes you rich and how hard you work. So, it doesn't matter what doctrine people preach. There will still be people who will be rich and there will be people who will be poor, and depending on their diligence and their hard work, and the loss of money that they know.
Okay. Can we go to the 20th question, because there is a biblical verse? Okay. It was not yet given. Okay, but I would like to have your stand, GSA. Ecclesiastes 9:16 says, Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard.
Yes.
We are living in a generation whereby today on internet, people display their knowledge, everybody comes, people talk a lot, and people are talking, but sometimes no result. And what is your thought when we see all what is happening, a lot of people talking, but nothing to show? And the Bible makes us to understand that even though wisdom is better than strength, but the wisdom of a poor man is always despised. Donc, je voudrais avoir le point de vue du docteur Sunday Adelaja par rapport à ce verset de Ecclésiaste 9:16 qui nous dit clairement, et je dis, la sagesse vaut mieux que la force. Cependant, la sagesse du pauvre est méprisée et ses paroles ne sont pas écoutées. Nous vivons dans une génération où la connaissance, les gens que du matin jusqu'au soir, vous vous connectez sur Internet, il y a des coachs, il y a des motivateurs, il y a, les gens sont en train de parler, ils parlent, mais quelquefois, il n'y a pas il n'y a pas de résultats palpables par rapport à tout ce qu'ils disent. Donc je voudrais demander au docteur Sondé Adeladja, qu'est-ce qu'il pense de ce verset qui fait clairement comprendre que la sagesse vaut mieux que la force, mais cependant, la sagesse du pauvre, généralement, est méprisée et ses paroles ne sont pas écoutées.
That passage is telling us about the importance of wealth building for everybody, that everybody needs to learn to, to have money, to make money. Because money answers for all things. Yes, it's good that you have wisdom, but the wisdom of the wise will be despised if you don't have money.
The wisdom of the wise.
Yeah, will be despised because you don't have money. This whole world is run on money. And most people, it's not because the wise person is bad, it's just because the world recognizes real money. And it is money they respect. That's just the way the world is. So that's not talking about you, but that's talking about them. So because that's what they respect, if you really want them to respect you, then you have to know how to make some money. So that's why I made some messages on YouTube that I believe how everybody can become a millionaire, and how why I believe every Christian can become a millionaire and everybody can become a millionaire. So I have messages like that, and I have the book Money Will Make You Rich talks about that as well. I personally believe that. Some Christians say, "Oh, I don't need to learn I'm not called to make money. Mm-hmm. I'm not called to be a businessman." Yes, you might not be called to be a businessman, but you could learn the loss of money, so that when some people say, "I don't need the money." Even if you don't need the money, you can use it and be a blessing, or use it to do the work of God. Even if you are not called to be a businessman, but the money that you make, you will use it to do your calling, or you will not be a beggar for your calling. You make the money yourself to do your calling, whatever your calling is.
Thank you, GSA. Up till now, we see that we were discussing with you yesterday. You were telling us that up till now, you still spend between 3 and 6 hours daily for your self-education. How does it look like? How do you organize yourself? And I would like to know the kind of book GSA is reading during his self-education time. Donc, la question, parce que nous échangeons hier avec le docteur Sondé Adeladja, et il nous faisait savoir que chaque jour, il a au minimum 3 heures de développement personnel, 3 à 6 heures d'éducation personnelle, où il s'éduque, il se forme lui-même. Je crois que nous l'avons si bien suivi. Il a pris la peine de dire qu'il n'a pas été sous le mentorship de qui que ce soit, mais il a pris le temps de se développer de manière personnelle. Donc, je voudrais lui demander comment il s'organise et puis quel est le type de livre que le docteur Sondé Adeladja lit pour son édification personnelle.
I'm surprised that, people keep on asking me this question. And I'm surprised if there is anybody in this world that is not reading, that is not studying and doing self-education for 3 hours a day. I'm going to be very surprised. 3 hours a day is so easy and it's so elementary. I'm going to be very shocked if anybody who is a serious-minded person doesn't do 3 hours self-education in a day. Because it's very easy. For me, it's easy. When I wake up in the morning, I wake up already with some audio or video playing. Yeah. So before I go out in the morning, I listen to at least 1 or 2 hours. Then
listen at what, GSA?
Video, YouTube,
of who?
Audio. It doesn't matter who.
Okay.
Just the time now. Then before I go to sleep at night, also I don't just go fall to sleep and no, I'm studying, something is playing.
Okay.
Then if you ask my children, anywhere you see me doing the house, anybody, they are always seeing me reading something or hearing something or something is playing during the day, every time.
Conversion.
Yes, something is happening, despite the fact that I'm busy doing many things. So even if it is, when I wake up in the morning and when I go to bed alone, that's already 4 hours. But when I do solitude, I have more time. So 6 hours is just very easy that way. But every day, 3 hours is the minimum. So but then you want to know what books am I reading?
Yeah.
It is going to be very stupid of me to be telling you these are the books I read. Because you don't need that. That's not what you need. You want to find out the principles that inform me of the books that I read. You don't need to bother yourself about what book do I read. It should be about the principles that inform me. So there are two main principles that inform me about how I know what to read. Number one, I don't like darkness. And I know that lack of knowledge or ignorance is darkness. So when I'm working every day, I'm doing my own thing. When I find out that there is an area that I don't know enough about, or I don't know anything about, I go and study it. Because that is darkness for me. Anything that I don't know about, that is darkness. I don't know, I cannot step. I don't know how to move in that area. I'm ignorant. I cannot stand that. That is what informs my, number one thing that informs my education, my self-education. Number two thing that informs are the 5 main things that I think about. I have my principles, those are that I have them in other videos, whereby I talk about the 5 things that DSA thinks about, or Pastor Sunday thinks about. So those 5 values, those 5 directions are the things that also inform me, because I mainly read about those 5 directions, things that will help me to attain those 5 things that I think about.
DSA, I just want to really thank you. I appreciate. My questions are
exhausted.
They are exhausted. But before we conclude, I would really like to inform the Francophone that we have launched the translation of your books. It took some time of delaying, but after you giving the go-ahead the other day, because of 1 or 2 things that were as hindrance, but you have given the green light. So I want to assure the maximum people that as we are going back to Cameroon, books, we will just launch the production of French book and we'll make sure they will be available. We shall be going gradually, as we said, but we'll make sure that between 2 and 3 years, almost 100 books available in English should be ready in French. That is our challenge. So we are just going to set up a plan that every month we should be doing either 235, 235, 235. That is with this word that I will conclude my says today, GSA. I really want to thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Donc, je voulais juste, en concluant cette émission, préciser aux uns et aux autres que le docteur Sonda Adelaja nous a donné le mandat de pouvoir traduire ces livres et de les rendre disponibles pour la francophonie. Donc, le docteur Sonda Adelaja, in English, it is more than 150 now.
Yes.
C'est presque 700 Russian and English. But in English, it's just...
No, it's 400.
400, okay, up till now, donc environ 400 livres en Russie, en Ukraine, ukrainien, en ukrainien et en anglais. Mais en anglais, on a environ 150. Donc, le programme est mis sur pied. Les livres seront traduits et seront disponibles. Je crois qu'il y a une page Facebook, Sonda Adelaja en français. À partir en vous connectant sur cette page, vous aurez la possibilité de voir les livres qui sont disponibles en français. Thank you very much, Dr. Sonda Adelaja. It was a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor for me to sit beside you to ask 1 or 2 questions that are a preoccupation for the Francophone believers and Francophone world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Well, I want to use the opportunity to talk about this book that we are seeing right here, How Every African Nation Can Become a First World Nation. If you have not yet read that book, your eyes will be open big time. Every African nation can become a first world country. And it's there on Amazon. It's there. If you are in Nigeria, you could go to DSA Books Planet. DSA, one word, DSABooksPlanet.com. DSABooksPlanet.com. Or if you want, that is if you want to get the book physical book. But if you want to get the book on electronic, then you could go to okadabooks.com. But DSABooksPlanet.com will get the book to your house in Nigeria and all over Africa too. And but if you are in Europe or outside of Africa, then you can get the book on Amazon. and you can actually read all my books for free on Kindle Unlimited. The next book that I want to talk about is my latest book, Kingdom of Songs. Kingdom of Songs. So this book, Kingdom of Songs, is on pre-order right now on Amazon, Kindle on Amazon. So you can get the book now, and for $3 right now, for $3.99, $3 something. But but once it's released, of course, it's going to be more expensive. But this book is going to be so revolutionary. You are going to be amazed. You are just going to wonder, my God, what is happening? What kind of church have I gone to all my life? And the goal of church is supposed to produce sons. And if you have not been released to become a son, I'm sorry, but it's never too late. So go for the gold, go for the book. And before this, the book that I had was wealth, money, riches, and wealth. I think we have a caller already. Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good evening. Who is calling from where? Is that Alfred?
Brother Alfred from Oklahoma.
Alfred, I thought as much. Alfred, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Très bien.
BS is speaking French. I applaud you.
I have a French speaker sitting beside me, so.
Hey, frère Erika, je vais d'abord vous remercier pour votre programme, votre courage et votre contribution. Ça a été très, très bien fait. Merci et Dieu vous bénisse.
Merci. Merci, Alfred. Toi, tu es dans quel pays?
Oui. Aux États-Unis.
Ah, d'accord. Mais tu es Camerounais?
Oui, un propre 100% Camerounais.
Super. Dieu soit loué.
Oui.
C'est une joie et c'est un plaisir.
Oui. Gloire à Dieu.
Merci.
And Pastor Sunday, so thank you again so much for the benefits we are getting from all your wisdom, your insights. We can't just, you are always on top of your game. Yeah, you're always on top. It's just so much. Your philosophical mind, your analytical mind, the inputs, your work, the work that you put into to get this information. So I always want to appreciate that. And I'm not taking it for granted. And I know a whole bunch of us, we don't take it for granted. Not even to consider that we get this information free of charge. It's a whole lot of learning. I was following the program and I was laughing a whole lot when you gave your take about work and favor. I mean, it was so funny that I couldn't just help it. I said I have to call in and comment on that. You really give an insight on this aspect of this new gospel where they always talk about favor, 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 favor is better than anything else, favor and favor and favor. And they push us to the extreme where we were just expecting manna to fall from heaven, and it never fell. And so we stayed in that mystical gospel until, for me, I got some light, but I got some light through the ministry I've been involved in. I mean, coming to Bible school. But you shed more light in that area when you start talking about that. No, God encourages hard work, not for us to sit and be expecting that things will just happen.
I got some Americans reading my book, Why You Must Urgently Become a Workaholic. Somebody,
yes.
A white American guy wrote and said he thinks that book is one of the best books. He said it's one of the 5 best books in the world that has ever been written.
See? Yep. He's right. Because you, like I have told you before on several occasions, I said, somebody who doesn't know.
Your voice is going down. Can you speak more louder or to the device?
Yes. Sure. Let me make it louder.
Yeah.
I was saying, you for one, like I said before, is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say you for one, like I said before, anybody who doesn't know you would think you're an American.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
matter of fact, yeah. I've been reading your books and following your programs, And always I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, this guy looks like he lives in America. I mean, he talks everything about this economy. And one of the things we learn here is that it's hard work. You
Yes.
know, hard work is rewarded here. So,
Yes.
those of us who were in Africa, we could not even afford a bicycle, but we came here, we are able to afford certain things. It's because we work hard.
Yeah.
So when I came in touch with you, saw that you were celebrating hard work, and then made us to understand that you can predict your life. Life is predictable.
Yeah.
It just clicks. Like, it made so much sense. I want to use this opportunity to share some of your principles that I've been using,
Yes.
and how applicable and how they work. Because so while I was still in school, since I just graduated in May, I was trying to audition to be part of the school musical team. I had done that audition twice. I did it the first year when I came. I did not succeed. I did it the second year. I did not even get a response. So now my heart has always been in the musical area because I already am musically inclined. So now I wanted to do a specialized program at the school to be part of the to train as a music at the music department. So we have a school of worship, let me put it that way. So after having come in touch with you, just this little part that we have known, I've learned about life is predictable. I've learned the most important of it to me is system building. So I just took that. So we're supposed to have an exam, an entrance exam into this school of worship. And in that process of exam, we're supposed to also have a musical audition, meaning you play an instrument and you have an audition with that. So having done it, audition twice, did not succeed, I just decided to build a small system, to apply what you taught. And also including what you taught during the 25th anniversary, where you talked about how you use your principle of working hard when you were in the village.
Yes.
And that principle, you're using it now. So I'm relating all of this, how working hard is something that God encourages us to do, and He blesses. So I just built a small system saying, okay, I had, I think, a week and a half or so to prepare for this exam, yeah, and the audition. So I just factor in the time, and this was also within the period where we're having our final exams. So you see, a lot of things are in play now. So what I did was I just said, okay, let me build a little system, factor in the time that I have, and put in work in this thing, and all of that. And then I said, I'm going to predict my result then on what is going to happen. So now I built a little system on that, and I started studying. So I had a whole book. They've given us a curriculum. Now, this is something we're supposed to have done it throughout the year, but now I have like a week and a half. So I just started working constantly and putting that into my own process, and then practicing my instrument and doing that. And I covered everything that was supposed to be covered. And so when I went for the exam, when I was writing the exam, I pretty much knew how much I was going to get.
Wow.
Yes.
Life is predictable.
It is predictable. Yep. When I was writing the exam, I pretty much, matter of fact, I was saying if I don't have 100 on this exam, I might probably need to require for them to show me what did I miss.
Papers, yes.
Yes. So I was that confident. Now, this is another aspect that I want to comment in. There are some things that God will help you that you did not know. Now, to the list of my knowledge, I did not know that on the exam part of it, they also require us to do some listening, meaning they'll play something and then they want you to listen to it and then answer some questions. Now, I did not study for that. So when I went to that exam, they brought that. That's the area where God now came in for me.
Yes.
Because I had no idea. They never mentioned that in the syllabus that it was going to be there. So guess what? When they brought that, I just said, okay, Lord, I did what I know I'm supposed to have done. And you know what happened? Instead, for that one that I did not even know about, based on my knowledge that I already have, I had 100 on that aspect.
Wow.
Then on the written part of the exam, I think I failed like 2 questions, which I probably thought maybe I got tired or something. And then, so I did the exam, they sent the result, I did excellently.
Wow.
Now I went for the audition. I had already factored into my system also time to practice my instrument and do everything. So when I heard myself playing, even before going to the audition, I was able to even predict what they were going to tell me.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yep. So I went to the audition. There was no fear. There was no fasting. There was no doing any special kind of anointing prayer that I've done this thing twice and they know what. I knew very well that everybody listening to me will know that this guy, we need him. So I went to the audition. When I did it, they said, okay, you can go. So if you, later on, guess what? They sent me the letter. They say you have been approved. You know, you have been accepted to go into that school.
Life is predictable.
It is predictable. But how
and
did
you
it
are not,
happen?
you are not doing Olukoya prayers.
No, I didn't. I don't.
The spirit of delay.
Nah.
The spirit of almost there. Almost there.
Near to. The spirit of near to. Near to. To be near to.
Ah, near to. Oh, that's what they call it.
Near to.
Okay.
Yeah. That whenever you are always near to.
Yeah.
You never reach. It's a spirit.
There's also the spirit from your forefathers who are hindering you.
Rubbish.
So it's rubbish. So the truth is, it is predictable, and hard work, God encourages it. And if you know some of these things, DSA, I gotta tell you, to be honest,
yes.
I said when I did that stuff, I said DSA is a dangerous man. That's what I kept saying. I was waiting to come to Ukraine and tell you this, but this just corresponds with what they talked about in this topic. I said this DSA is a dangerous man. I said they shouldn't play with what he's teaching.
Yeah.
Can you believe you just took that system, plug this thing in, put in your work, and do everything? You can predict it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I don't want to take all the time, but there is so much coming, and I'm looking forward to explore everything and explode DSA. I'm telling you. Thank you so much.
And you can take over America. It's so easy to do that.
That's exactly where I'm going, DSA. This stuff is going to go viral. I'm telling you. This is my own area right here. I'm going to start here, and then God lead me wherever it's leading me.
Yeah, you can take over the whole place. I mean, it's so easy to be the head wherever you are. France, Germany, America, England. It's so easy. If you apply those principles I'm giving you out there, you can dominate any country.
Wow.
It doesn't matter, yellow, brown, white, you can dominate.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Blessings.
Yeah, blessings, Chief.
Dr. or Pastor Erika, has anybody ever told you that you look like, at least your hairstyle and your image looks like Lumumba, Patrice Lumumba?
You are the first, yes.
I'm the first to tell you?
Of course.
No, I can't believe it. Maybe they don't know. Most people don't know the way Patrice Lumumba looks. But if you see the picture of Patrice Lumumba, yeah, it's like you. Your hairstyle is just like you. Your image.
Okay, with the glasses.
No, even without the glasses.
Okay.
Yes. I think we have a caller, right? Okay. So this is the book. Work is better than labor. I mean, work is better than vacation.
Yeah.
And labor is better than favor.
Okay, labor is better. Okay, work is better than vacation.
Yes.
Then labor is better than favor.
Yes.
Wow.
Hello?
Wow.
Do we have a caller there?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yes. Who is calling from where?
Allô?
Maybe you need to ask in French who is calling.
Allô, qui appelle? Nous vous écoutons 5 sur 5. Vous pouvez juste vous présenter en donnant votre nom et là vous appelez le pays dans lequel vous résidez et vous appelez.
Moi, c'est Monza Bertrand, depuis le Cameroun, Douala.
Ah, depuis le Cameroun, c'est Camerounien.
Okay,
depuis le Cameroun, Douala. Ok. Parlez, on vous écoute.
Good morning. Hi, GSA.
Good. How are
want to-
you, sir? Who is calling from where? What's your name?
My name is Monja Bertrand. I'm calling from Cameroon.
Douala.
Douala, yes, sir.
Yes, nice to hear from you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm hearing you since maybe 1 year.
Okay.
I have a question, sir,
Yes.
about mentorship and spiritual father.
Yes.
For me, sincerely, I don't believe in mentorship or spiritual father.
Yes.
But what is it biblical?
Is it?
Biblical.
Okay.
Okay.
Est-ce que c'est biblique? Est-ce que c'est sur le au niveau du Nouveau Testament? Est-ce que c'est biblique? Chaque fois on nous parle du mentor, chaque fois on nous parle du père spirituel. Mais lorsque moi je parcours la Bible, je ne vois pas dans le Nouveau Testament là où, par exemple, l'apôtre Paul a eu un père spirituel ou bien un mentor et les autres apôtres. Donc ma question est de savoir si
Vas-y, on t'écoute.
si c'est biblique. Voilà, si c'est biblique.
Okay.
I understand your question.
Yeah.
Is it biblical?
Is it biblical? Because it says when you read the New Testament, he doesn't see where they are talking of a spiritual father of Paul. And so he's asking, mentorship and spiritual father, is it biblical?
It is biblical, but it's not compulsory. You see that there is a place where Paul said, you have many teachers in the Lord, but you don't have many fathers.
Yeah.
So it is biblical.
Yeah.
And you also see many places where Paul also was talking with Timothy. And also, I gave birth to you in the faith.
Yeah.
You know, but so it is biblical. It is reality. There are some people who give birth to people. They are there, you know, and either by bringing them to the Lord, or maybe not by bringing them to the Lord, but by training them through their teachings.
Yeah.
Paul also said that I've given birth to you through the washing of the Word of God, through the teachings of the Word of God. So that is also biblical. So it is biblical, but it's not compulsory. The way it is being promoted in Africa these days is that you must be under somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody who is your father. Somebody must be. No, that is an abuse of it. It's an abuse. It's a good advice that you find a mentor or a leader, or you don't have to be under them. Just like I've answered in the beginning of these questions today, this program today. Maybe you missed it.
Yeah.
Go and watch the beginning of this program.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be under a spiritual father. You don't have to be under anybody. You can just go and, you know, see somebody that inspire you, that you admire, that is, you know, that is an example, and follow the person. The person might not even know about it.
Yeah.
Or you might express your gratitude to the person, but you don't have to do and be listening to the person and become a slave to that person.
Yeah.
No. You're just somebody that you appreciate and you're learning from. That's it. You want to add to that?
No, I wanted to find out if he is getting. Est-ce que tu comprends? Tu as compris la réponse que le docteur Sonderdela a donnée?
He's gone, I think. He's gone.
Okay, he's gone. So maybe he's just...
Yeah, Kingdom of Sons. If you look at that book, Kingdom of Sons, you discover that we are not talking about spiritual father there.
Yeah.
No. We are talking about sons of the kingdom. We are all sons of the kingdom. We are all sons of the kingdom of God. So we all belong to the same Father. Do we have a caller now? So we all belong to the Father. You don't have to feel yourself inferior to any other person. You know, if there is somebody who has been a blessing to you, respect them, honor them, but the person must honor you too. So you are not a slave. You don't have to be subservient to somebody else and go and be serving somebody and become a slave. You are a son of the kingdom. Even if you are learning under them, you are under them, that doesn't mean you are a slave. You are still a son of the kingdom. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Who is calling from where?
Yeah, my name is Nana Kwanzaa. I'm calling from the United States.
What's the name? Evans?
My name is Pastor Kwanzaa.
Pastor?
Kwanzaa, Nana Kwanzaa.
Colson.
Nana.
Kwanzaa is
Nana Kwanzaa.
Quansa.
Okay, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm blessed by the mercy of God. How about yourself?
Beautiful. We're doing well.
Yes, I think the first time I saw you was on Revelation TV, and
In England.
that's correct.
Yes.
And I have been trying to get in contact with you. It's been difficult. So I was just there, and I think I came across you on Facebook because I'm not on Facebook. But I signed up and I came across.
Okay.
Because I mean, that's another thing to talk about. There's so much going on in there.
Yeah.
But it's not a question. I wanted to know. It's a question, but it's not related to what you're doing right now.
Okay.
I wanted to visit your country, visit with you.
Okay.
I know, like the Bible said, Queen of Sheba had to go to Solomon to learn. Sometimes it encourages.
That's true.
So even though I'm getting the books, I wanted to come and visit for a week.
Just like
And
this,
maybe
just like the
fellowship with
people
you.
who are with me right now, right?
Yes, God. Yes, God. So I wanted to know the procedure, when I can do it, and then come and fellowship with you.
Very simple
to-
and direct. There are two ways you can go about it. You could just write to guest, GUEST, at godembassy.org. God Embassy is one word, .org. Just say, I want to come and visit. Or you could write me direct and write to pastor.
Yes.
My own email is pastor@godembassy.org. Just write. Or you could just write me on my Facebook inbox and say, I want to come and visit. And I will direct you to where to write your letter to.
Okay, wonderful. I'll definitely do that. You've been such a blessing, and I'm always fascinated as what God is using your life to do. Just as I was listening to a program, a lady called me and told me that he's got a job and the office is full of whites. And I said, Pastor Sunday, God used him to raise a church, a white church in a white country, so you can do marvelous. So I bless God for your life. Thank you so much. I'll definitely put in the question, send in a letter and come and see the visit with you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Nana.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you
originally from Ghana, but I'm in the United States.
All right, just keep on being constant and call in anytime you feel like calling in, anytime into the program.
All right, thank you so much. God bless you.
You too. Blessings.
All right, bye.
Bye. Okay, so this is one of the books that will really help anybody. It doesn't matter what country you are from. This book is not about Nigeria. It's about African countries. And that every country in Africa could become a first world nation. This book is just talking about one secret. And that secret could just revolutionize your life and your countries. Okay, do we have a caller there? Okay, I think we're going to have a caller soon. Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm here.
Who is calling from where, sir?
Yeah, I'm calling from North Carolina.
Okay, what's the name?
Hello?
What's the name?
Yeah, my name is Evangelist Evangelist Oscar Matondo.
Can you make your volume? I think you have a Facebook or YouTube playing. You have to go to another room, or you have to put off the sound in whatever is playing there.
I'm listening. Yeah, I'm calling from slow.
Yes, you need to put off the.
No, I have to.
You need to put off the YouTube or the Facebook in the sound. You need to listen to me just from the device, from the telephone, not from, don't listen to the program.
Okay. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying my name is Oscar Matondo.
Okay.
Evangelist Oscar Matondo.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Pastor Mary Matondo husband from North Carolina.
Good.
USA.
Yes.
Okay, I never call. My wife always called Pastor Sunday. Yeah, this is my first time to call because I want you to congratulate my brother Erika.
Okay.
For the job you have granted.
Yes.
Okay, let me get going French because je suis né au Congo Brazzaville, j'ai grandi là-bas et puis j'avais quitté le Congo Brazzaville il y a plus de 20 ans.
Wow.
J'avais suivi votre première interview en direct dernièrement avec Pasteur Sandé.
Ok.
J'avais apprécié parce que c'était une bonne idée.
Ok.
Et que maintenant que ça arrive à conclusion, je suis très fier de vous.
Super.
Je suis très très fier de vous. Je suis très 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 content parce que nous sommes dans le royaume de Dieu et puis nous travaillons pour le royaume de Dieu. Moi, je suis évangéliste, mon épouse est pasteur, très connu le pasteur Sandé.
Ok.
Yeah. Oui, donc vraiment, nous t'encourageons par rapport à ça. Mais j'avais quelques questions par rapport à la façon, est-ce que vous serez disponible de distribuer ces livres même dans le Congo-Brazzaville parce que le Congo-Brazzaville n'intervient même pas.
Ok.
Le Congo-Brazzaville n'intervient même pas. Peut-être qu'il n'y a pas de gens qui suivent le pasteur Sandé. Nous, l'avantage que nous avons, nous sommes dans un pays anglophone, nous sommes en Amérique, nous sommes dans un pays anglophone, mais est-ce qu'il y aura une possibilité, ou bien vous aurez des moyens pour faire cette distribution dans Brazzaville, ou bien dans Pointe-Noire?
Disons que si on a des points focaux, que ce soit à Brazzaville ou bien Congo-Kinshasa, s'il y a des points focaux, vous nous mettez en contact avec eux, il n'y aura aucun souci. Le Cameroun ne sera que la base de production. On a déjà commencé à produire, il y a déjà des livres disponibles en français. Et puis, on va continuer avec la production. On a un plan de production de 3 années parce que le docteur Sonda Deladja a plus de 150 livres en anglais. Donc, on est dans ce processus déjà. Ça veut dire que le Cameroun est la base, ça sera disponible. Maintenant, si on reçoit des points focaux dans les différents pays, il n'y aura aucun souci par rapport à la distribution.
Ok, à ce point-là, nous portons garant pour vous mettre en contact avec certains du Congo-Brazzaville qui pourront peut-être être en mesure de vous contacter et puis vous allez voir à quel niveau vous pouvez faire cette connexion.
Super. Pas de souci. Vous écrivez juste Erika Lindou @yahoo.fr. Le nom que vous voyez là, Erika Lindou.
Il n'y a pas de problème. J'avais suivi avant-hier, j'avais déjà suivi avant-hier, en direct. Bon,
super, c'est bon, c'est bon. C'est bon. So he was just thanking, he was very happy. He said he followed the last program and he was very happy to see that things are happening already in French speaking. That the program was a great blessing to him. The email even he wrote, he is taking engagement because he wants to help to distribute the books in Congo, Kinshasa and Congo Brazzaville because he's in US, but he knows that those books will be a blessing for the people. So he is taking engagement to put us in contact with people that were enabled to distribute in Congo. So that's the summary of what he was just.
Bon, d'accord.
Okay.
Très bien.
Okay. Now I have a question for Pastor Sunday. Yeah. Pastor Sunday, yeah. You know my wife very well because I have my sister-in-law there.
Oh, is it Pastor Marie?
I'm Pastor Maria's husband, yeah.
Pastor Maria, okay. I know your wife very well, yes. I didn't know it's you. Now I understand who is calling.
Yeah. I watch you all the time. We watch together, yeah. But I never call. Yeah, she always call, and then I'm on the side.
Help me greet her, Maria. Help me greet Pastor Maria.
We appreciate you so much. You watch everything, all your teaching system, everything, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling today. You have to call more.
I will do it. From today on, I'm going to be calling you.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you know, we've been in Nigeria too, you know that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know.
Of course, you know that.
You went to Nigeria?
My wife told you. We went there with my wife.
Wow.
We been in Nigeria and Lagos for in 2014.
Okay.
I've been in Cameroon too. That's why I know. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
That's why I would like to talk about this because Congo Brazzaville. I don't know if they follow you except us. I don't know because I didn't see nobody call about it. Yeah.
Yeah, now God will use you to bring the message of the kingdom to Congo, Brazzaville, and Congo, Kinshasa too.
All right. That will be glad. That will
be good, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't want to take all of your time, but I'm glad. And then, Pastor, Brother Erika, I will talk to you later.
No problem.
Maybe after you Kev, I will call you. I will send some message. I got your email. I got your contact.
It's okay.
I will be in contact with you. I will do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad.
Thank you,
all
sir.
Right.
God bless.
Okay, thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Good. Well, you see, the Francophone world is responding.
Yeah. Maybe they were not used to before.
Yeah.
But now that we've started, and now that they can see GSA giving interest to the Francophone country, I believe the reaction will be, and also as the books will be available, many people, most of them are not exposed to. But once it will be available, it will now go around and people will be aware of the message of the kingdom.
Because in those countries, not too many people speak English.
No, Cameroon is
Congo.
No. Cameroon has the particularity of being one of the scarce countries whereby they speak English and French. Yeah, Gabon, no French, no English at all. Congo Brazzaville, no English at all. Ivory Coast, not.
Hello,
Centrafrique.
Yes, Enoch D, live from Abuja.
Oh, wow. Okay, how are you, Enoch?
I'm fine, sir.
Nice to hear from you today again.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Bonsoir, grand frère Erika.
Comment tu vas?
Très bien.
D'accord, j'ai suivi ton message.
Ok, allez.
Oui, j'ai suivi ton message et comme je disais, je voulais boucler avec le programme avant de t'appeler pour qu'on échange.
Ok, grand frère, merci beaucoup.
J'ai suivi ton message et ta préoccupation. Donc, comme on boucle avec le programme, demain, je crois qu'on aura le temps pour échanger.
Ok, merci.
He sent me a long message on WhatsApp, but I told him that I was preparing the program. Okay. I would like us to discuss after the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I want... Hello?
Yeah?
Yes?
Sir, I really want to appreciate God for you, sir.
Thank you.
You know, when I started listening to your message is on December. You know, I was fellowshipping in Deeper Life Bible Church.
Oh, okay.
When I gave my life to Jesus. Yeah, I fellowship in Deeper Life Bible Church for 1 year. The Lord laid in my heart to leave the church. It wasn't easy. When I went to the leaders, they only discouraged me. They said, cannot go out that I'm going to lost in the world, this and that. But the burden was so serious in my heart. I had no choice. The pastor told me, you are going, so it's finished with you. Oh, so I left. So I left denomination since 2002. I have never been in a denomination. I've never been in the church.
Freedom.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So when I got in contact with you, and this time that I was not going to church, God was helping me. But I used to go to programs, when they organize programs like Winner Chapel, like other ministries. Always the way they preach is always. I remember a time in Douala, a one man of God from Nigeria, cannot call his name. He came and organized a program, and there was only raising money. People should bring money. I was sitting behind. After they preached, they finished the program. The man said, "You think I spend all my time leave Nigeria, come here? People should bring 1,500,000. They should bring in his hotel on the bed. She will bless them."
Wow.
I sat down. I was getting mad. I almost wake up to go and bring problem and scatter the offering. I was feeling bad. I think it was 2010. I was like, what kind of gospel is it? What? Without even knowing you, sir. What kind of gospel is that? I was worried. So I left the program. I went in the house. I was discussing God. What type of preaching is it? When I was crying and asking God questions, God gave me Micaiah chapter 4, verse 8. The message was very clear. He said, these men of God of this our generation, they preach for their belly.
Yes.
They are building Zion with blood. So he spoke to me in verse 8. He said, I have given you the authority to stand and judge Israel. So when I received that scripture by then, I will start. When I meet a pastor, I remember I met one pastor of another church, and I tried to sir, the kind of message you are preaching, only money. The first time I asked me, who is your mentor? Which church do you go? So me and him that evening with that pastor, same Pastor Tony in Douala, we strike on that moment. I talked to him. Then at a certain moment, I felt discouraged because it was like, hey, you are going astray. What the kind of things you are attacking, Pastor? God, there was a bonus in me to attack anything that is not right. When I see things in the house of God that they are talking, it was just disturbing me. So at a certain moment, I felt just discouraged. Maybe, hey, I'm on the wrong side. So, but when I got in contact with USA, the first 10 minutes baffled me, said, I was straight in the wilderness. Because me, I've never gone to any Bible school. But God has been helping me, self-development as you have been teaching us. So he said, you have never gone to. I said, so God can train somebody. See, you are trained behind the bars of the communists. So it was like I was consulted. Then when I listened to your message, I said, oh, so this is. So I want to say briefly, there's a prophecy that is being fulfilled in the life of Jesse. I think too in Isaiah. It says, behold, the former things are come to pass. I think Isaiah chapter 42, verse 9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare before they spring forth. And if you go to verse Isaiah 43, 18 and 19, it says, remember not the former things, for I, God, will do a new thing. There's many Christians are in bondage. Many people are suffering. Many people are really suffering. And I think God raising you at this particular time is like Esther. When the children of Israel were in problem, God said, God raised Esther to deliver them. Many people, when they will recognize that you are the repairer of the bridges, they will click. Many are already getting the messages. Personally, I want to appreciate God, sir. You are really operating on the timeline of the prophecy, because I've been out of denomination for more than about 13 years. I've been running ministry without being to any denomination. But when I listened to your message, I was healed. I was encouraged.
Strong testimony. Strong.
Amen, sir.
Thank you so much for sharing it today.
Amen. Then I want to say something. I had an invention. One of the things that disturbed me when I see plane crash all over the world. But I had a burden. The Lord was giving me a technology, how something can be formed on the seat. On the seat of the plane, in every seat, when there's an plane crash, people will be saved. So when I share with people that says, they say, this type of thing. So, but when I hear you say you're an inventor, I say, this is my mentor. I'm going to bring out the project to you. Let's work on it, because I feel bad when I see plane crash. I was working on it. I even wrote to Boeing in a company in America. I didn't get a reply. I was so disturbed. So, sir, I want to appreciate God for this encounter.
Thank you so much. Blessings.
Thank you, sir. Let me not take much of time. Thank you very much.
All right. So we are, reaching towards the end of our program today. This is my latest book, Kingdom of Sons. If you want to become a son in God, a son of the kingdom, that book will blow your mind. You will cry, you will weep, you will laugh, but you will laugh at last, because you will rejoice, you will jump that at last you discover this truth. And it's unbelievable that how many Christians that are living and are not exposed to the truth that are in this book. The book will just blow your mind and change your perspective about life altogether, and you will become somebody that is a history maker. I think we have a caller, right? Hello?
Hello, good evening, DSA.
Good evening, sir. Who is calling from where?
I'm calling from Spain. This is Adeni Olaniwaju Lucas.
All right. How are you, brother Lucas?
Fine, and thank God, we thank God. And you?
Well, we are trying our best here.
Okay. DSA, I just wanted to ask a question that I wanted to ask.
Yes,
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
DSA, if you go to Nigeria, are you going to inform federal government or you ask anything before from the federal government about the plan you have for us in our country?
Oh, no, the thing I want to do in Nigeria, I can do a lot of it without the federal government, but the grand plan, the ultimate plan, the program maximum. Okay, let me say I have program minimum and I have program maximum. So the program minimum I can do without the federal government, but the program maximum is to rebuild all of Nigeria physically. I'm talking physically, not just mentally. So, and we will need the federal government in this sense. Hello?
Surely gone.
He's gone, eh? Okay.
Surely.
All right, I hope he got my answer. Okay, we have other callers, so we'll wait. Well, this other book, somebody, like I told you, somebody from Zambia or Kenya or somewhere read this book and said,
wow.
Free at last.
Free at last.
And free to become a millionaire, the person started making money. I said, he said he's read so many books since he became a Christian, but that one book will change his life like that.
Work is better than vacation.
Work is better than vacation.
And labor is better than favor.
Labor is better than favor. It broke the shackles of religion over his neck. Hello?
Hello?
I think we might have a caller. Hello?
Yeah, hello. Can you get me?
Yes, sir. Who is calling from where?
This is Ebo calling from Berlin, Germany.
All right. How are you, sir?
Berlin, Germany.
Yes. Nice to hear your voice, bro.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Yeah, you call in for some time. Nice to hear you again.
Talking so much about your security.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. Okay, lovely.
Do you also speak French or only English?
I speak French perfect. I'm from the English-speaking part of Cameroon.
Okay.
But the point is that they say Cameroon is a bilingual country, but it's the Anglophones which are bilingual most of the time. Yeah. So I'm from the English side of Cameroon, but I speak perfect French because you don't have a choice. As an Englishman in Cameroon, you have to speak French in order to.
You are right, because I know so many people who come from Cameroon and they don't speak English.
That there are the French-speaking Cameroonians who don't speak English, but the English-speaking Cameroonian has to speak French because that's his only option he's got.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sad.
Well, that's the way. That's how it's been for a couple of years now, quite a long time, even longer before I was born. So we are getting used to it. Wow. And at the end of the day, it profits us, the English-speaking course. When they travel abroad, they realize that the English is the language that wins.
Yes.
And that's how.
It's the language of the world.
Yeah. And they said they have been deceived in Cameroon. Yeah. Not until you travel abroad that you know the advantages of English. Well, did I say my guy? So I'm just from Cameroon. Came back 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you visited?
Yeah. I visited there despite the crisis we are having there.
Wow.
It's a big risk. But then we don't have an option. I've waited for almost 2 years before I could make it. I said, now I just have to. Yes. So I went there, and I happened to gather a couple of people around my area. And when I talk of DSA, some people, we know, is it that crazy guy who was like fighting the Jews?
Yes.
And I said, yeah. I know it's crazy, but let me ask you something. Is is he speaking the truth or he's just being stupid? But I was happy because they say he speaks the truth.
Wow.
That he speaks the truth. That's what makes me happy. Because I was like, there are two things. It's different when somebody criticizes and somebody criticizes falsely. If he does it a positive criticism, he does it by speaking the truth, that's another ballgame.
Yes.
We have to live with it. So that makes me comfortable. But a lot of people, what I realized is that very few. And when I talk, I always told you, Cameroon belongs to TB Joshua and Suleiman.
And who?
Suleiman.
Yes,
Johnson.
yes.
Cameroon belongs to those two. And they just keep on giving them, those two just give the people what they need to hear.
Especially the English-speaking side.
That's what I
the English-speaking side. In my house, everywhere, the windows, the doors, everywhere, the stickers of Suleiman, Johnson, and TB Joshua.
Yeah.
My friends, they have on their bangles, on their hand, no more watches, but bangles of Suleiman and TB Joshua. Just pull everywhere, Yeah. And how did they get to that point? My senior sister, I remember she said she sleeps and leaves the TV on. The TV is on Emmanuel TV. And in that way, Emmanuel TV is on throughout the night, it chases away evil spirits.
Wow, my God.
Yeah. So, you see, these guys, they succeeded to infiltrate the minds of these people with their channels. Like Chris has a channel which is on the cables of Cameroon. When you have this cable, people can't afford the satellite, so they can afford to pay to have cable connections in the house. And there's Emmanuel TV always there. And there is this other guy, Suleiman, always there. And there is Chris always there. So they bombard the people's mind with their kind of favor, grace, and things teaching, making money overnight through prayers.
Yeah.
So I think my suggestion is that if this truth that comes from you, this information, can also infiltrate that same media with a channel of yours, that people can also switch to it at all times. They switch to TB Joshua, they switch to Emmanuel TV, they switch to Chris, and they switch to this guy. But there will be a difference this time because they'll be hearing a different message.
Yes.
And this one is going to capture them somehow. And this is how they're going to get the information, because the problem down there is what we call data. I speak to people, we don't have data. They can't listen to you regularly. They can't listen to this other guy who's bombarding, and this other guy in Nigeria called Daddy Fritz.
Yes.
They can't listen to people because of data, internet data they don't have. But they prefer to spend 3,000 to pay for a cable that's going to last for a month, and they get all these channels. For them, it's cheaper that way.
Yes.
So I pray that you should begin to think towards this direction, to come up with a channel of your own, a cable of own that it is going to, people can also have access to on a regular basis, DSA channel, as these other guys are doing, so that this truth that comes to you, because it's more available to the people who have the opportunities, like in Europe, America, and so on. We have free internet 24 hours. It's not like that in Africa, so they are missing out. So please think of this, how to establish a channel that is going to also rival the other, the status quo that's been in Africa, the big three or the big four. And as I show you, this truth you are saying is going to overcome the light that has been on ground all these years.
Wow, beautiful. Great idea. We are working on that idea, and soon it will happen by the grace of God.
Oh, just remember me of this, and that I said it. I always say it this way. I'm glad. It's a pleasure having you this evening, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Blessings.
So, you too. Take care.
Yeah. So those people follow them in Canada.
Yeah. Just as he was saying, GSA, since it goes,
they have whatever bagels
and banners, stickers. everything, handkerchief, all those things. People are really, but as you will rightly notice, it is mostly the Anglophone area, even though the French is receiving some effect, but it is
overwhelmingly.
Yeah, it is over. Yeah, you know, with this crisis also that has come in our northwest and southwest area, so people are just like mystically believing, just in need of miracle. So what he's saying is right. And even talking of
I think we have a call already. Hello.
Hello, good morning, doctor.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good morning. Who are you? Who is calling from where?
My name is Frank Beja. I'm calling from the US.
Frank.
Yes, sir.
Is that the same Frank that came from Ukraine?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How are you, Frank? Nice to hear from you again.
Oh, I'm blessed, Pastor.
Speak louder into your device.
Oh, I'm blessed, Pastor.
Yes, how is America treating you? Is he okay?
Oh, America is not as we see in the movie or on TV, Pastor. It's nothing to do.
It's different?
Yeah, it's absolutely different. Absolutely different in any area, any state of life. The way we live here, everything is different. Sometimes I understand that the TV just cheats us.
Wow.
The TV just
Uncle Sam is so strong there.
But thank God, at least I have your books, I have your teaching, all of that. And they gave me the opportunity to keep on track and keep moving forward, because when we live in America, it's a great country, but it's actually, as you used to say, a big plantation farm.
Yes,
but people are not
it's slavery.
Yeah, it's absolutely slavery. So here, I don't have a question. I just have to say thank you for everything, because when I came to America, your teachings and everything I've learned from you became more real. So it's like right now is the test, is the moment to put in application what I've learned from you, put in practice what I've learned from you.
So it means you have a lot of advantage.
Yeah, for sure. Because even if when you are among Christians and I speak the way I speak, they don't understand me and they say either I'm not a Christian or I'm a spirit and I'm a carnal Christian. Yeah, because sometimes they say, how can you speak like that? Why do you think like that? Why do you do like that? You have to do just like everybody. So it's hard, it's very hard to move around, it's very hard to express yourself among the Christians. But when I went last April in the United Nations, I had the opportunity to meet those another young people too, who have the same mindset, even though they are not Christian at all. They just put in practice the principle of life, the principle you put in your book,
yes,
and they do very well in life. So I just want to say thank you.
Are you happy to see Erika today?
So much. That guy is just a blessing. It's just a blessing for Cameroon. It's just a blessing for all Africa, because I had the opportunity to meet him in Cameroon when I went home last 2 years ago. That guy is just wonderful. Now I don't even want to think what he's going to do when you go back to Cameroon after you have meeting you in person, because what he has been doing in Cameroon by just listening to your teaching and reading your book is wonderful. It's just wonderful. It's somebody that I love so much, I respect so much. Is really mentor for me. So I just want to.
Do you want to tell him some things in French?
Yeah, no problem, sir. No problem. Pastor Eric, toi.
Ouais, je suis très content.
Je suis très content de te voir assis à côté du Père. C'est vraiment un honneur. Je peux comprendre ta joie et voir comment est-ce que et comprendre combien de fois tu vas boire, de la connaissance du Père. Le Cameroun est très en danger là où tu le parles. Ouais. Et vraiment, je crois que vais continuer à utiliser pour faire de grandes choses. Merci d'avoir toujours été ce grand frère-là pour moi et cet ami-là pour moi. Sache que je vous aime très fort et si ce, je vous souhaite une très bonne journée. On m'a dit j'ai 3 minutes, donc je ne vais pas excéder.
Non, tu peux continuer, il n'y a pas de souci. Tu peux continuer, ne te dérange pas.
Non, donc c'est un peu ça. Le père bientôt sera il sera au courant d'ici le mois prochain de ma première œuvre que je vais faire ici aux États-Unis. Toi également, tu seras au courant.
N'est-ce pas?
Et je crois que Dieu continuera à faire des choses au travers de nous. Il faut dire au père que je l'aime très fort et je vais revenir vers lui très bientôt.
Wow. Donc, dès qu'on va boucler, je ne sais pas, il est quelle heure là-bas en ce moment?
Actuellement, il est presque 15 heures.
Presque 15 heures. Tu seras occupé parce que si on boucle le programme, je pourrais directement pouvoir être en mesure de t'appeler comme on devait échanger.
Actuellement, après là, dès que je raccroche là, je serai occupé. C'est ça le problème.
Tu vas te libérer à quelle heure par la suite?
Même dans 2 heures de temps.
Même dans 2 heures, pas de souci. Nous, on sera toujours éveillés, donc il n'y aura vraiment pas un gros souci en tant que tel.
D'accord.
Sinon, tes trucs, ça avance très bien.
Ça avance. Dieu fait grâce, doucement. Même comme c'est pas parfois évident, c'est pas parfois trop facile, c'est pas toujours ce qu'on voit à la télé. On nous a trop menti à propos de cette histoire des États-Unis. Donc maintenant, on va réaliser ça.
Mais puisqu'on parle du rêve américain, c'est American Dream. Donc c'est un rêve.
Exactly.
When they are talking of American Dream, it's really a dream. So they want you to keep sleeping. So, now you have woke up and discovered that it was a dream.
For real. You can't believe it. The first time when I came in America, like the first 2 weeks, I was like driving down the street, like going to downtown. And I saw like a group of men of Black Americans. They came and they asked me for $1 to eat. I say, men in America, somebody will ask for $1.
Or you thought that you will be taking dollar on the floor.
I was like, man, what's going on? But with time, when I'm trying to understand working with Black Americans, ask them questions, what is going on, how you guys, because most of them, they are in factory, they don't even behave well, they don't talk well. So I'm asking them, why do you behave like that? Why do you speak like that? Why you don't go to school? What is going on? And you will see sometimes some of them are fatherless, some of them have been like abused, some of them don't have parents, some of them grew up on the street, all of that. So you understand that there's a bunch of stuff going on here. Like, it's just...
Wow. In 1 year, your English has so improved. It's unbelievable.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Thank you so much.
You are doing well. Keep on carrying the kingdom over there.
Thank you so much, Pastor.
Nice talking to you. Thank you for calling in today.
Thank you so much.
God bless.
Amen, Pastor.
Bye. Wow. You knew it was Frank immediately.
Yeah, the voice. I recognized the voice. And he called me during the day for some advices.
Okay.
Yeah. In Cameroon, he arrived there and he came to our School of World Creation.
Okay.
He even make his junior bro. C'était son grand frère, son petit frère. His elder brother to register in our school. So 3 months after, Frank called me that Erika, you have made my junior to greet ministers, on which me myself have never greeted a minister in Cameroon. So he came to the school, he was very impressed when he saw what.
We have a caller. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. Is that Pastor Wellington?
Yeah, this is Pastor Wellington on the line. Good evening, sir.
From Paris.
From Paris. Good evening.
Paris. Yes.
How are you? How are you, sir?
Thank God, we are hosting some people here from Francophone Africa.
Yeah, it is. It has been wonderful. It has been wonderful.
Yes.
I just said I should contribute. By the grace of God, I've been here for quite long now. So I should, I think, be able to at least participate so as to help the work towards the French, the Francophone themselves.
Yes.
Maybe let me firstly speak in French with Pastor Erika.
Oh, okay. You speak French, eh?
To God be the glory.
Oh, I didn't know you speak French.
Pasteur Erika,
ouais, salut mon pasteur.
Que le Seigneur te bénisse.
Que Dieu vous comble.
Je remercie l'Éternel pour ton intervention. Je crois que ça fait bientôt 2-3 jours là que tu es là-dessus. Yeah. Ça fait un moment qu'on attend. Je sais que il était là en France il y a 8 ans. J'ai eu l'opportunité de le rencontrer.
Okay.
C'était à l'époque que j'ai constaté que son message était différent. C'était complet. Et ça n'a rien à voir avec ce que qu'on a reçu dès le début.
Tout à fait.
Par la grâce de Dieu, ça fait 32 ans que je suis en France. 32 ans. Je suis un Nigérien ici en France, un pasteur de l'église. Je peux te dire, si on parle...
ou Nigérien?
Hein?
Nigérien ou Nigérien?
Non, Nigérien, de Lagos.
D'accord.
De Lagos, exact, de Lagos. Nigérien, comme pasteur Sunday lui-même.
Tout à fait.
Oui. Quand on parle des francophones, je ne sais pas si tu l'as constaté. La plupart du temps, c'est souvent vous les Camerounais de côté Bamouda, de côté anglophone qui disent que vous êtes. Mais moi, franchement, je ne vous considère pas comme anglophone.
Tout à fait.
Je vous vois plus francophone que des gens de Congo, des gens de Soudan, des gens des autres pays. Ouais. Qu'est-ce que je voulais dire? On a un manque dans le royaume de Dieu quand il s'agit du monde francophone. Si le monde francophone doit recevoir ce message, s'il doit y avoir la même transformation qu'on a déjà goûté, qu'on continue à voir au Cameroun, il faut que vraiment que des gens commencent à se lever. Je ne sais pas en même temps, je ne sais pas si vous avez constaté, quand on parle de ce problème, de cette doctrine mauvaise, toute cette manipulation, des déceptions qui existent dans l'Église aujourd'hui, on voit plus, je peux dire même 1000 fois d'impact de cette manipulation dans le monde francophone que le monde anglophone.
Wow.
Et la racine de toute cette manipulation vient du monde anglophone.
Tout à fait.
La racine vient du monde anglophone.
Tout à fait.
Souvent, je peux te dire, j'ai vécu avec des pasteurs congolais ici en France, pas mal de pasteurs qui ont démarré même avec DSC, mais aujourd'hui, ils sont plus avec DSC.
Wow.
Pourquoi? Ils cherchent, au bout d'un moment, le message de royaume ne leur apporte pas ce qu'il leur faut. Là, ça ne leur apporte pas ce qu'il leur faut. Qu'est-ce que je voulais dire? S'il y aura un changement, il faut vraiment qu'on soit en face de qui sont vraiment les francophones.
Yeah.
Vous avez l'opportunité de parler les deux langues, vous connaissez les deux mondes, yeah. Mais il faut vraiment qu'on y aille voir ces gens. Si le monde congolais, le monde togolais, béninoise, si vous voyez parmi les béninoises, il y a toutes sortes de voodoo, yeah. Ils comprennent plus rapide tout ce qui est rituel que même l'évangile. Et même parmi eux qui prêchent l'évangile, les pasteurs ivoiriens, je ne dis pas que tout le monde le fait.
Tout à fait.
Mais ce que je dis, c'est 90% des pasteurs qui sont là, ils font que cette chose, ils prêchent que ces mauvaises doctrine.
Yeah.
S'il y aura un changement, il faut qu'on se mette d'accord que vraiment le monde francophone n'a rien à voir avec le petit Camerounien qui parle anglais, qui sont plus influencés. Ils sont plus aux côtés du Nigeria, très proches du Nigeria, que moi, j'ai par la grâce de Dieu, j'ai connu pas mal d'eux qui étaient avec moi. Ça, c'est un.
Oui.
Deuxièmement, s'il y a une possibilité, pour qu'on puisse créer un contact. J'ai commencé un programme l'année dernière. J'ai commencé ce programme-là en anglais pour pouvoir essayer, pas avec ma propre doctrine, mais le livre, ce que j'ai appris de Dr. Sunday Adelaja. J'étais en train d'enseigner ça tous les dimanches. Mais j'ai remarqué une chose, c'est que le monde, au bout d'un moment, le prophète n'est plus respecté parmi des gens de ces peuples, qui fait que pasteur Adelaja est devenu un peu plus, je peux dire, des gens, les anglophones ne le prennent plus sérieux. Mais le peu de gens qui viennent souvent sur le plateforme, ils ne sont pas nombreux, peut-être 2, 3 francophones, ils s'intéressent toujours. Ils aiment écouter ça. Mais j'aurais dû aimer avoir des gens qui ont le même, des gens comme vous, ou si vous connaissez des gens en France, qui ont ce même contact, qu'on peut créer un lien ensemble. S'il y a une plateforme comme ça, il peut me rejoindre, on peut parler ensemble, et il y aura au moins des témoins de ce qu'on est en train d'enseigner. Et que je sais que par la grâce de Dieu, il y aura des changements au fur et à mesure. Dernièrement, s'il vous plaît, je ne vous prends pas de temps. Dernièrement, je vous remercie. Je vous remercie beaucoup parce que ce n'est pas vraiment très facile d'avoir des gens comme vous. La traduction de ces livres aussi est très important. J'ai rencontré un pasteur, on était en Ukraine ensemble l'année dernière, pasteur Pierre, Emmanuel Pierre. Je ne sais pas si vous le connaissez.
Pasteur Pierre, celui qui est en France.
Oui, il est en France.
Celui qui a traduit, he's the one who translated how to regain lost years. C'est lui qui a même traduit comment regagner les années perdues.
Exactement. Mais si on peut avoir plus que ça, si on peut avoir, parce que cet homme que vous voyez a besoin de l'aide, il ne peut pas tout faire. Il ne peut pas tout faire. Et ces livres-là sont des livres très profonds. Sont des livres vraiment et moi, je n'arriverai pas à le faire. Et même si je le mets en Google pour faire une traduction, peut-être Google n'arrivera pas à me donner le vrai mot.
Tout à fait.
Exactement.
Tout à fait.
Il faut des gens comme vous, comme Pasteur Pierre, qui ont compris la vision de Adelaja et qui peut nous aider à faire une traduction des livres. Mais bon, il y a des livres, il y a tellement beaucoup de livres. Mais si on peut d'abord commencer avec un livre, je peux donner comme exemple le fléau de silence. Le fléau de silence. Si on peut commencer déjà un livre qui va briser, qui va détruire cette peur. Dans les Congolais, j'ai rencontré pas mal en eux, qui fera en sorte que des gens peuvent commencer à parler quand ils voient des choses qui ne vont pas, quand ils voient que c'est comme ça, il faut commencer à dire oui, ça n'a rien à voir avec un jugement. I don't know if you will translate it now.
You have wrong at the end. You are putting the load on me.
I'm very sorry, sir.
You don't finish the language today.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry, sir.
Very good. I enjoy listening. Even though I didn't understand, but I enjoy the whole thing.
you know that I speak French better than English.
Because you have forgotten your English. Now, just like me. Me
exactly.
too have forgotten my own Yoruba.
So I'm now, by the grace of God, I'm now
32 years. 32 years.
My God.
32 years in France.
Wow.
So
years.
I find it more easier to speak in French. So okay. I was asking him three things. Number one is that when we talk about the French-speaking people, we should not be the Cameroonians that I know. I've met with them. We've worked together here in France. They are not the real Francophone we are talking about.
Okay.
They are not the real Francophone. They are too more to the English side.
Okay.
Than the French themselves.
Okay.
So they have more influence of the Nigerians, of name it, all those Easterners, the Igbos. So our culture is almost their culture. They learn the language faster than also. So when we are talking about the Francophone, they are not the real Francophone. The real Francophone is the Congolese, the Gabonese. When we're talking about even the people from Ivory Coast, the Ivorians. So those are the people themselves, because their mentality is complete. It's 100% French. Totally different from the English Cameroonians.
Wow.
They are just different. Now, I made mention of the damages that has been done. And I said that the damages that has been done here in the French-speaking world is 1,000 times more than what we see in the English setting.
Wow. That's what she's asking me here.
Is 1,000 times more.
Wow.
So as it's oftentimes pains me when I started one thing last year, or every Sunday, and we call it the gospel truth, and we were doing it. But I noticed that the English-speaking people that were coming on board, our English people, it has often been the prophet Adelaja that is not honored by his own people. And that's how so as I was trying to present many of your books, teach on them, I wasn't seeing the results I am expecting, because they are not the reaction I'm expecting is not what I'm getting. Now, I noticed that 2-3 people oftentimes that comes online, but are not really, when I say they are not like our people. Our people, English-speaking people, we are more vital. We are more active. We react to things faster. So these few people, they receive the word. When they want to ask questions, they ask questions in a more, you can see the heart of a learner. Somebody wants to know more.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, I was asking myself, I said, what is the need of doing a program that the majority of the people that comes online are just there for blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
You are teaching them on what Sunday Adela just said on this. They are talking about Babangida. They are talking about Sonia Abacha. They are talking about. At the end of the day, you just look at it. You say, "Am I gaining or am I winning? What really am I achieving?" So at the end of the day, I took it to the Lord. The Lord said, "I should stop." Then later, there was this ad that, look, let us get these French-speaking people. That God didn't bring us to this land for. By accident, that we should reach out to these people. So I've been praying on it. So it's one of those things that I asked Pastor Erika, that if there is a need, if there is a way we can create a link. I know of Pastor Pierre. Pastor Pierre, I met with him last year in Ukraine. He was able to translate a book Not only that book, if we can get more books that will help these people. And when we create such a platform, people like this that are knowledgeable, that are real, that knows you, knows your vision, can come on board and be witness to whatsoever we are teaching. It will go far in the Francophone world, sir. It will really, really go far.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Beautiful
Sir.
idea.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Pastor Wellington, you are always coming with meat, the meat of the word. Thank you so much, sir.
To God be the glory.
Help me greet Pastor Helen.
I will, sir. Thank you, sir.
God bless you. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye, sir. Bye.
Okay, I think that will have to be the last caller today, because I still, we will still have another program today.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, everybody, for coming. And what we have to say bye-bye to, because today is the last. You are going back this week.
Yeah, we will be going back to Cameroon, and in fact, we have enjoyed to the last our trip here, and I will keep repeating what I said last time. Someone even called me today from Cameroon, and he was asking me that, please, since you are advising us to come to Ukraine, GSA will still last for how long in Ukraine? I told him that, please, don't plan according to GST is still having how long. Yes. If you want to come, just come now, because at any moment, it can last for a year, it can last for a day, it can last for a week, it can last for months. So don't try to adjust according to how he was still going to be in Ukraine. If you want to come, just come. So those are my last words. I will really say, if someone has an opportunity to come, he can. But if you don't have the opportunity, just key on the teachings and meditate on them, work on them, because I've been following GSA for the past 3 years. It's since 2016, but it is 3 years after that I was able to come here. Yeah. But all the impact of the word in my life was through YouTube and through Facebook. So if you don't have the opportunity to come, sit down, download the messages, just as he was saying, is what I'm doing. I've have 2 hard disk drive that whenever a message when a message finishes, I just download and put there. I share with a lot of people in Cameroon. I share most of the time. I will ask their flash disks, just put them to them and call them after that. We should be discussing about that. And more of it myself, I'll lock up myself inside the room with my wife, sometimes with my staff. We will watch over it and work over it. So that's the advice I will give to any other person. I will also say that, in fact, I want to repeat what I say. If you listen GSA messages, the first thing you will experience in your life will be freedom. That is what I've experienced. Listening for 2 months, I just realized that I was totally free from the bondage of religion. I saw it in my life. I saw it in my wife's life. I saw it all over the people with whom we are watching, we are working, and spending our daily life. So I encourage everybody. It's not about church. It's about knowing God personally in the private relationship. I've witnessed it for the past 3 years. It works, and the results are tremendous. I said it 2 days ago. What I've been able to achieve in 3 years, for the past 25 years of my life, I was not able to do it. So I was able to regain totally my life. I remember one of my collaborators asked me one day, he says that, what do GSA even brought to your life? Because we know you are always been like that. I told them that there is a particular issue, talking of conversion. GSA messages have boosted me. When I'm talking of conversion now, when I'm sitting every week, I must have a product that my week has produced. When I finish a week, I must take my diary. What did I spend this week to? What is the product? What material has been converted? As GSA always says, we are living in a material world. So anything must be converted so that you should have a proof in hand. I'd advise many other persons to listen to the messages. Donc, j'encourageais simplement les uns et les autres. Si vous pouvez effectuer le voyage, tant mieux. Mais si vous ne pouvez pas, il est important de suivre le message. Ce n'est pas une question d'église, ce c'est pas une question de religion, c'est pas une question de quoi que ce soit, c'est d'écouter un message qui apporte la libération. Je peux rendre témoignage parce que pendant 3 années, j'ai pris le temps pour suivre ces messages. Au-delà de ce que les gens racontent, les critiques, non, c'est pas ça. C'est le message. Lorsqu'on écoute, on confronte cela aux Saintes Écritures. You listen the message according to the Holy Bible. You yourself, you look at it and you see the impact. Donc, j'encourage le maximum des gens. Et puis, demeurons dans la foi, aimons Dieu, servons Dieu et que nos vies soient un investissement céleste qui apporte une bénédiction dans la vie de notre prochain. Thank you, GSC.
Well, thank you so much, Erika Lindou. And these are the new voices God is raising up all over the continent of Africa. And we are going to change the whole of Africa for good, to the glory of God. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today. Kingdom of Sons. Let us raise more and more sons all over the continent of Africa that will bring the kingdom of God down to the earth as it is in heaven. I will be back in the next 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, to continue my series on understanding, service, and stewardship. So stewardship is a wonderful topic that I would like to encourage you to go listen to. So thank you so much. Peace.